Hopefully this one works. At least this one still hasn't errored on me. Let's see if this works. I'll give it a minute. You never know. This is also something else that's never happened. This is extremely unfortunate. Oh, come on. Jeez. Eric, no. Oh no, not again. Oh, it's gonna go again. It's doing it again. We might have to reschedule. I really would hate to do that because I was actually just getting into it. No, it died again. Oh, jeez, this is so annoying. Because if it's this kind of quality, it's not even worth doing. I wonder if it's the storm. It's not supposed to, it shouldn't matter for fiber. How many more do I have to do? At least it still hasn't kicked me off yet, but it's about to do it, yep. Yeah. I don't think it's like really, I've never had this happen with the internet, and there is a storm. Yeah, it's until 9. Well, it's until 9. That shouldn't be a problem though. I still see the YouTube is not receiving enough video though, so I don't know if it's gonna die again. Because that's right before the second one died that I made. It was also happening like this. Oh, this really sucks. I don't think the storm should matter. And also this is very behind. 2 days in a row, something else that has never happened has happened. This sucks. It was going perfectly fine until it just... And that is incredibly annoying because the internet is supposed to be like super duper good and expensive, so I hope it's not that. I wonder if maybe Streamlabs is having issues or something. Oh yeah, this one looks okay now, but okay. I have my hopes up that it might be okay now. So let me orient myself with this new chat and pull it back up. About the chat. It still looks okay. I don't want to jinx it. But I think it might be alright. I can't believe I had to make a third one. Okay, hopefully it works. I apologize. Again, I have to apologize again. This sucks. Okay. We'll just pretend it works, and then it's gonna work because we're gonna hope it does, and it might be okay. So, I don't know how much got cut off before everything crapped out on me. But yeah, there's the lion thing. And I think, oh, somebody in the chat was saying that it should be audio only, and I only saw that after I already put her on the screen, so I apologize. But at least she's far away now, so I think we're okay. And yeah, there's a storm outside, but it shouldn't matter for fiber. Fiber is, they put the cables underground and everything, so I don't know why that would matter. I remember the 5G hype. Oh, well, that would be if I was on a phone. But I do I do remember that they were gonna be like, oh, it's super duper fast, but in my case, it's underground wired fiber, so it shouldn't make a difference. But maybe I'm unclear about how that works exactly. Maybe there's some elements that are above ground that could get damaged. I'm not sure. I don't know how it works. I just know they put the fiber lines underground. So, okay. Well, hopefully everything is gonna be all right now. Okay. Well, no, this one. No, this one is lagging. That's not good. Hope it works. Yeah, I've got my fingers and toes crossed as well. I say that too. That's so funny. I don't see often people say the fingers and toes part, and that's something I also say. And I haven't met anybody else that says the and toes part, so that's kind of funny. All right. So I'm not sure where I left off, but basically I was just saying how she's got the lion thing everywhere, and she puts lions on everything, and it's her thing, and how since we're already here, and since I'm not sure if the stream will stay up, I don't want to start on the main part of it yet. Well, I'll give it like 3 or 4 minutes, and if it's still good, we'll jump into the other stuff. But oh yeah, so here they're like,
to this event. You will be when you're creating this because and Charlie in mind. Let me explain this to you. When you come to this event, you will be, it's very exclusive, very intentional. We are not releasing a speaker list. You will know who the speakers are, but we're not making it public. And
okay. Somebody who is a college-aged male, if you want to like infiltrate this, that would be so cool. Because what is this like secret speaker thing? And I said this. I don't know if it was before it died. Oops, I don't want to hit you there. Put you right here. I'm not sure if it was before. Oh no, I can't see. Put you back down here. I know what I'm doing. So I don't know if it was before the stream died, but I was just saying how, oh well, if they're not making it public, it's got to be something that's kind of embarrassing to make public. And I was wondering if they were going to put, if like Andrew Wilson was going to be one of the speakers, like teaching all the men to debate or be dicks to women or whatever. Because why else would it be so private and secret if it wasn't something super embarrassing? And who is more embarrassing than Mr. Wilson? Because that is. What is this like secret men's club thing? And then how they were going to California and they're like, oh, here it is.
What we're trying to make sure that you guys have is the opportunity to be able to let that shield down. You guys will be going to a retreat center. When I say that, I mean you will be in the outdoors. You will be in California.
See, what is that? You will be in California and everybody cheers. What is that? What happened? I thought this was Turning Point. We not we as in I'm not Turning Point, but we don't like California, so I'm confused as to why everybody was suddenly cheering and stuff. It was very weird, but I thought I'd turn this off 1 second because I don't even know why it was like, oh, let me talk to you all of a sudden. That has happened before, but today is okay, this is ridiculous. It should be off. Okay, I'm not messing with this right now. We'll just put this away. There we go. Okay, problem solved. Now Siri's like, oh, I'm gonna talk to you all of a sudden. Oh, I said its name again. But yeah, usually when they say California, everybody goes like, boo, California, just like this. Exactly like that. That's what happens. They're just like, boo. But now she says California, and they're like, yay! So I don't know if, okay, so what this is, I believe, is where all of the chapter, you know how they have like these little chapter things on each school/campus thing, and this is where all the chapter leaders of each chapter come to hear people speak, I guess. It's like a chapter leadership summit, CLS, if I think that's what it stands for. And also like during the intro, like look at this. They're just like, whoa, Erika Kirk, oh my god, what is she gonna say? Is she gonna say something new? No, yay! Look at this. She's like, yes, people are cheering for me. Give me more. But yeah, this is all the chapter leaders. So they're like super pro TPUSA, the ones that haven't quit, because apparently a lot of them have quit. since Erika took over, a lot of them have quit. That is the word on the street. Not that, you know, the figurative street, not literal street. All the phones that come up when she comes out. Yeah, this is like, it is.
God bless you guys. God bless you guys. Love you too. Last year when Charlie was on.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'll cover this later, but I just wanted to kind of, since it happened today, apparently, I just wanted to sort of share that they're doing this thing now, and yeah, the rest of it I'll cover at some point later. You might even see little parts of it in the next video, because she literally says some things word for word that's in the video, so I'll just add another copy for the lulz. All the lulz. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else here. Oh, it was also basically, the rest of it was like, oh, so TPUSA isn't for young people anymore. It's basically for throughout your lifetime. So they're going to have these community chapters now instead of just school chapters. So it's going to be like, instead of having like a cult at a school, you get a cult in your community that is lifetime. So you get to grow up in the cult, you get to exist in the cult during during your school years, and then you get to go to college in the cult, and then eventually when you leave college, you get to stay in the cult as a part of the community cult chapter version thing. So it's gonna be a lifetime thing now, apparently. So yeah. Oh, and this blueprint thing, I do have another video. I have so many videos coming up. There's literally a list of more than a dozen.
That very well.
There's literally like more than a dozen ones planned with notes for each one that I just haven't like scripted and recorded yet. But again, the other one's going to be the honoring part 1 is going to be probably tomorrow or the next day, and then there's going to be a part 2 of that and 3 probably, because they get very long. And then there's also another one that's going to be about the blueprint stuff. I don't think I've noticed anybody else cover this yet, but she keeps saying blueprint everything, like everything is blueprint this and blueprint that. Like, she cannot stop saying blueprint, and here she is again with the blueprint thing. I noticed that, and that was kind of fun.
Legend among legends, but what he did leave us was the blueprint.
Them blueprints. Anyway, okay. It seems like the stream is continuing to be okay now. I don't know what happened before, but I'm gonna... I don't know if I should bother updating the thumbnail, because I also didn't really... Oh, you know what I didn't do? And I'm kind of glad I didn't do it now, because the stream died earlier. But I never posted the links anywhere. I've never done that. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and then we'll get into, finally, some of the notes and videos here. The first one is... Okay, so there is a DNA situation, and apparently there's several locations that matter to the case, and some of them, they're like, oh well, here he is like walking from this place to this place, and you can't really tell it's him. And then some of them that are probably the most important don't even have much of Tyler on those places. Like, even the places where they found objects with some of his DNA on it among other people, including Lance, plus some of them have, like, I think, was it the rifle has like 5 DNA samples on it, and a lot of the DNA, we'll probably do DNA in detail at another point. We'll do some medium amount of detail here, but like exactly how it works and everything, I want to look more into that. But from what we learned, it seemed like the DNA isn't as it's not so like, oh well, his DNA was on this, and it's not so clean and tidy, and a lot of the tests that they have been doing aren't that precise and aren't that confident. Like the confidence level is not very high, so a lot of that is probably going to be a separate thing. But this is going to be like where the DNA was found and where it wasn't, and where it wasn't is kind of a big deal. And also prints. Apparently there were no the prints that well, okay, we'll get to it in a minute. I wonder how much they keep pumping into these crowds for them to be this excited. I also wonder how much they keep doing. But these are chapter leaders, so I wonder if they. I don't know if I assume it's some kind of volunteer position, but I wonder if they maybe reimburse them for travel or something, or if they pay them. I don't know. I might have to look into that at another time, but there's definitely something going here because I have never seen people this excited for Erika Kirk. Even TPUSA events where like the M Fest and stuff, and that's when she had way more support than she does now. And even then, they were not this excited for Erika Kirk speaking. And that's when she had, again, way more support. Now she has way less support in general, including TPUSA. So the how this is sort of turning out as the crowd being so much more excited than even back then is a bit sus. But, you know, it is technically only the chapter leader, so maybe they're super brainwashed or something. I don't know. I mean, if you're a chapter leader and this is who you're following, you kind of gotta be, right? Okay, let me get this pulled up. Oh no, I was gonna do the links. Okay, I gotta do the links first. Yeah, so I do hope that the internet won't be a problem again. That's something else that also hasn't happened. And again, it's supposed to be super fancy, so that is weird. Oh yeah, I have to fix the thumbnail probably too, because it just has my like profile on it now. Because this is the one that I restarted from inside Streamlabs. Because I kept having to make them. Okay, this one. Let's do that. And let me just fix this real quick because I have it handy. It's right here. Okay, that's an easy fix. Very, very easy fix. All right. We'll call this part 2 because the other part 2 didn't really work. I started the other part 2 and it died right away, so we'll just pretend part 2 didn't happen, and now this is part 2. And I need the link for it. Oh yeah, I think I did have a link on X, but it's now the wrong link, which sucks. But that's okay. We'll fix it. Blueprint, like a blueprint for building a building. Speaking of buildings, build the ballroom. You forgot to spell it with a ballroom, unless you meant literal literal ballroom. Retroman, hi. Only 5 viewers. It's almost 2 p.m. here, so good to finish. Oh, good. Welcome. Yeah, our stream crashed. I'm not sure if there were a few more earlier, but I am a very small channel, so it kind of makes sense. But also, the stream crashed earlier. Hopefully, it won't happen again. But there was a previous one, and then another one that crashed also. But it's been a few minutes now, and it hasn't crashed, so I have high hopes. Stream. Okay. I don't know if I should put the title in there. I could do because it's not coming up. So normally this would all happen beforehand. But that's okay. That is alright. And Okay, now I gotta do this link thing, which should only take me about maybe 45 seconds, maybe less than that. And it kind of works out that I forgot to do it earlier, because now I would have to do it twice. And that would be incredibly annoying. But yes, so while I'm working... Oh, I'm just putting the title in. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm glad I started paying attention, because I'm just pasting in my title. That is so stupid. Okay, I have to fix this. I know what I'm doing. Okay. Let me just fix that, because that looks like I don't know what I'm doing. And I totally know what I'm doing. I totally know how this works. Oh no. Wait, what? Oh, now I can't post in this one because I just posted? Really? But I just deleted. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I don't got time for that. For that nonsense. I guess it's probably like an anti-spam thing if you just posted in a thing and it doesn't care if you deleted the last one. I guess if that ever happens, I'll know to edit it or something. Oh yeah, let me look at my notes here real quick, and oh, not these notes. These notes. Make sure I covered all the summary portions, because I can... Oh yeah, so the 4K footage thing. Okay, I haven't covered that yet. I think I started to cover it, and I started talking about something else, the summary thing. And then there's another note that I wanted to cover too. Okay, so back to the summary thing that we were doing earlier. Another thing that also happened that a lot of people have already covered, but I haven't covered yet, was the one where I said, like, I had a reply on my ex. I hate the new Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. I don't care. On Twitter, I replied to one of the posts that are part of this whole situation. Okay, so here it is. So, Jack Posobiec, he was like, let me just put it up, because I can do that. I can do that. I can do this. Oh, it's a little bit weird. Oh, come on. Let me just... Oh no, it's cropped. Okay, well, this is Jack Posobiec. Just take my word for it, I guess. And he was like, we have the video. I think he meant now. He's foreign or something, so I guess I'll give him a pass. I mean, the last name, I don't know if he was maybe born here or not, but that is a Polish or something name. We have now the video. That just sounds weird still. Anyway, we have the video of the shot exists. I mean, he meant known. We have known the video. Okay, that makes more sense. We have known the video of the shot exists since April, when the prosecutors told us in court about it. This description was entered by the state in open court months ago, and he didn't put the description. But basically, what actually happened is... Well, I think I have the clip, so... Okay.
This video that
Oh, yeah.
I believe you asked if there's any portion of this video that captures, and I believe you asked of the actual shooting. There's no video of that. There is video, however, and you've heard testimony related to this, where the shooter goes to the top of the low-C building, goes out to the edge of the building, low crawls, and then leaves after what we assume is the shot being fired. That's as close as it gets.
Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, so there's no, I don't know if the volume was up for that. Let me know if everybody heard that okay. But basically, there is no video of the shot being fired. And there, let me just finish playing it, I guess.
You asked to the building, low crawls, and then leaves after what we assume is the shot being
What they assume is the shot.
fired. That's as close as it gets.
Is it fair to say that nothing
And
about the video of the individual on the roof revealed to you, you couldn't see facial features, you couldn't see what they were wearing, correct? But
and I had to cut this because it's supposed to be like a short clip, but he was dodging the question. He went on and on to like answer other questions that she wasn't asking. It was incredibly annoying, so I had to trim that out for the sake of the clip. But eventually he agreed with her. I'm very wrong about he did not want to like admit it. He did not want to. This guy is so shady.
video on the roof.
So if people aren't just sort of share real quick. So this guy is, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I had it. So, scroll down. So this is the cop that supposedly found like he was the first one on the roof, apparently. Even though there's weird stuff about that too, technically. And then his camera died, by the way. Right as he gets into the roof, his, the body cam, it died. And it's only been up for like 27 minutes until then, I think. And that's when it suddenly died. Apparently, maybe ran out of battery. Maybe, apparently, he didn't say that so confidently, which is also shady. All of his answers were super shady, honestly. They are trying very hard to connect Tyler to that pixel on the roof. Exactly. It is literally like, okay, it's not literally a single pixel, but it's maybe 10 pixels. It's maybe 10 pixels. That's it. That's all they've got is like 10 pixels, and it's just like a black little dot. There's a dot moving on the screen. That's all they have. And they don't want to admit it, but eventually this guy did, because I don't know if he realized how bad it looked that like this kind of stuff was happening, where like the dodging and stuff. So I don't know if he was eventually like, yeah, we got to say it outright. We don't have the video. And I think the judge was also asking like, is there not a video of it? Like, what is going on? So that's sort of the response to that. But there are people saying stuff like, oh, it's in 4K and it's like so clear and you can tell exactly what it is. And they were basically, oh yeah, this is also super creepy. I saw that the other day, like, what? Sorry, what? And why is like, why is Charlie off to the side and this guy is in the center and then that guy is off to the side? Like, what is going on with this graphic? It's weird. I don't know if he's got the post here, but basically a bunch of these people were saying that, you know how earlier in the summary I said that there was a point where, wow, this guy posts a lot, where Erika was like, oh, we want to see the video after they were not showing stuff anymore. And that's the one that they weren't going to show anyway. But that was the one that was going to be, let me fix this real quick. That's the one that was going to basically be the one that was saying, oh, they circled stuff on it and they zoomed in and then I started ranting about zoom stuff, and that's how we got off track. But that was the video that they're claiming, is the one that's like 4K super zoomed in. You can tell the trigger, you can hear the shot going off, and you can like see the person, pull the trigger, and there you can see the rifle, and you can see them take the shot. You can see this, you can see that. It's like super, my bad. It's like super HD, and you can see it's Tyler the whole time. It's like super zoomed in. You can tell it's him. It's super obvious. And it's just that doesn't exist. That video does not exist. And a bunch of these like TPUSA shows were saying stuff like that. But okay, let me get into, oh yeah, so that was, oh, and so I was kind of wondering if Erika was asking them to play that video again so they had an excuse to go out and say this stuff, because otherwise, like, what would they point to as like, wait, well, which one was it? Like, which piece of evidence was it? So that was the one that was the most convenient to transform into something it wasn't. So I do wonder about that, because she was the one that requested it to be played, even though it didn't really add anything. Okay, so that was almost all. And the last point that I kind of wanted to touch on is, on the first day, it was Erika arrived and she went like in the back somewhere, and then the parents arrived separately. And a lot of people have been speculating that maybe her and the parents don't get along or something, because it kind of seemed like it earlier in, like, after everything happened with Charlie originally. But sometime, I'm not sure exactly how long ago this was, sometime in the past maybe month or two, Erika said in one of the speeches, or she mentioned that she was going to go to Chicago, or she was like already in the area, and she was going to go to Charlie's parents' house to like have them see their grandkids. And she like made a point to say that. I wonder if it's because that hasn't been happening much, or if people were asking if it's been happening, or because she's like aware that people have been speculating that maybe they don't get along. And also, I think what's it called, Vet, that came out at some point and started like trying to patch it up and saying like, oh, I don't know what people say, they don't get along, they super totally get along. I'm not sure if that was him or not, or maybe it was one of the other shows, but I don't know if they do get along or if they don't. I don't know. But something that I kind of want to throw out here on that note is Charlie's parents, the Erica's kids is all they have left of Charlie. Like, that's all they have. And Erika basically controls their access to their kids. So it's up to Erika whether the grandparents see the kids or not. She is their, like, she's like the single mom now, right? So if they want to see the kids, they have to have a good relationship with Erika so that she comes and lets them see it, or she allows them to visit and see them. Like, they have to work with her to see their grandchildren, and that's all they have of Charlie. That's all they have, which is incredibly sad. But I could see why they wouldn't want to, like, even if for some reason they didn't like her or they didn't get along with her previously, I could see why they would want to sort of make nice and do whatever they can to try to have a good relationship with her so that they could see their kids more often, or sorry, grandkids more often. Because again, that's all they have of Charlie. That's all they got. And something that this is probably the only time I'm going to bring it up, because something I don't want to do, and something that I also would rather other people not do, is try to like discuss it or like point out, because I know people have been pointing out how like it seems like they don't get along and things like that, and I think that might affect them negatively. Like, I think it might hurt their chances of maybe seeing their kids, I keep saying kids. It's possible that it might hurt their chances of seeing their grandkids more often if it looks to the public like they're not getting along, or if they're, because it's like, it's damaging to Erika if it looks like they don't like her. And she's all about how the public sees her. She's all about how she looks. That's, I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna argue against that. That is very obvious. So I think it probably is like in their best interest to sort of not really push on that and sort of let it be, because the less people sort of bring it up, the more that she's gonna, I don't know if anything is happening. Like, again, this is sort of a possibility, that like she wouldn't have to be like, oh, well, you know, you want to see your kid, I keep saying kids. If you want to see your grandkids, people have to be like, oh, well, if you're not getting along with me, then I'm not gonna want to visit you. And I don't know. Again, I don't know what the situation is, but I think it's possible that it's better to just kind of leave it alone. And I think now that what has been different is that they were sort of, they arrived separately, but they were all sort of like sitting together and like leaving together, and it was very like a united front. And I do wonder if maybe something related to that has happened, because earlier, like when everything first happened, it seemed like that was not the case, at least in the perception of the public. So, okay, that's all the summary parts finally. And let me get into, let me pull this up properly. I need day 4. Okay, we'll start with day 4. And I'll leave these notes here. And I do wonder why this chat isn't catching up. I wonder if there's still issues, but he's not that guy. He's the lead investigator. All their answers were shady. Oh, lead investigator. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate the correction. Let me see here. But okay, the guy that was there on the roof first, his webcam died, or not webcam, his body cam died. But thank you for correcting me. They all kind of look the same to me. Okay. This is at back over here. Makes it a little smaller. Makes it a little ridiculous. All right. Okie dokie. So this is going to be okay. This is the DNA thing that I was talking about. So there's some surrounding context here, so it's not just like starting right at the point. And I think they're going to discuss shortly like how far away it was and everything.
And generally, what does processing an area involve?
Processing includes documentation, sketching, as well as taking photographs, marking as well as labeling evidence, and then determining how to package them properly, as well as also just trying to ID anything probative.
On the rooftop was evidence found.
Yes.
What types of evidence were found on the rooftop?
One item of evidence that was found was a screwdriver. Another one would have been what we believe was the shooter's perch. That was determined.
Every time I hear them say perch, I keep thinking of like a bird perch. I get what they mean by it, but like where he positioned himself to take the shot. But every time I hear them say perch, I think of like my bird sitting on the perch, or like go to the perch, or bird related stuff. So it's
determined that was easy to see at night. Using oblique lighting, we could see disturbances in the gravel on the rooftop. And then on the northeast.
Also, something I didn't catch before, it seems like, why was it was like so not obvious that they had to use this light to see it at night, to see the disturbances in the gravel. But I think another guy earlier, I don't know if it was earlier or later, but at some point another guy, no, I think it was maybe day one, the cop that said he was there, he said that he saw like where the shooter must have been, like right away. He was like, oh, that looks like the spot, because there was like the gravel was like doing something over there. So it's weird that now like this one is saying, oh, well, we had to bring like lights at night, and that's how you could see the disturbances. But the first guy was like, oh, well, it was right there. It's so obvious. That's like, wait, what?
Edge. Our team also found.
I think perch is the type of fish. What? I haven't heard that before. Is that, I don't know if it's, is that like an ocean fish or like a lake fish?
Some swipes on the ledge of that rooftop that was also collected.
Okay, so northeast ledge, and is this the dropping off point?
Yes, it is.
You said swipes. What does that mean, swipes?
Swipes is, I would describe it as kind of hand marks or any type of marks that is left by something that causes some type of disturbance.
Okay, and where on the ledge were those located?
Those were located right on the edge of that right on the edge of that rooftop, and then right below we also had some others.
Where on the edge were they located? And she's like, it was located right on the edge. What? Literally, he's like, where on the edge? She's like, well, it was on the edge. I kind of feel bad for her because she looks really nervous, so I shouldn't laugh too much because she's like, oh, millions of people are going to see this. She does look very nervous, and it's sort of understandable because this is going to be, a lot of people are going to see this, but you never know. Like, a lot of the state's witnesses seem kind of shady, so maybe I shouldn't give her a pass.
Swipes as well some other impressions, and then below that was a glass window where we also located some latent prints. So
prints on the window and on the edge, whatever that means.
Okay, I want to return to the what you refer to as the perch, the sniper position. Were measurements taken from that sniper position to the tent where Charlie Kirk was seated?
Yes.
Do you know the distance?
Yeah, so the distance from the perch area directly to the tent where Mr. Kirk was sitting was...
The perch area. She just keeps saying it. Every time they say it, I just can't help it. It's like, it's just so funny. The cop had spidey sense. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I'll probably cover in like a summary video, because I know a lot of people have already covered this, and I do want to cover everything together at some point, but this is more of like stuff other people haven't really touched upon too much. But that was kind of weird too. It's like, oh well, the shooter must be on this building for no particular reason, and he just happened to go in there, and then there was some other guy there. I think we might cover that in a minute here too. Well, why, like, there was another guy on the roof apparently, and then the tape didn't even get put up right away, and it was the scene. Anyway, we'll get there. There is another item here that sort of touches upon that, but it's focuses on another portion. But yeah, that was so crazy. Everything, all of the evidence in this case presented by the state is, if anything, I don't see how anybody with sort of as objective as they can possibly be, I know everybody's technically biased, I don't see how any rational person can look at the evidence they've provided and be like, yep, guilty. I don't see it. I don't see how, unless they're being dishonest. That's the only way. Perch is a lake fish, usually in North US, like Minnesota, very important and relevant to the conversation. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously they're talking about fish location. Hi, Glow in the Dark. Welcome back. All right.
Was approximately 415 feet. If you take into, and this, if you break it down, so from the perch to the tent, you're looking at it basically like this.
From the fish to the tent is basically like that. So, the distance here sounds a lot to me. They'll say it here in a minute.
And this is the tent.
And now you're describing, I'm sorry, I have to make a record. You're describing an angle, a slope downward from the perch to the location of the tent. Is that
Yes,
accurate?
I am.
Okay,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, so the angle, so again, the distance, the perch to the tent was approximately 415 feet. If you think about it, or without taking into account the elevation drop, it was actually 410 feet, so just horizontal straight across. And then the elevation difference between that is approximately 68 feet.
Okay. 410 feet from the perch to the tent with a 68-foot vertical drop. Is that
Yes.
right?
That sounds like a lot to me, but apparently it's something that if you have a rifle, it's something that you could cover, and it's sort of like a medium distance that you could get with a rifle, but it's not like a super long sniper distance. It's not that far, sort of for reference. But also, if somebody knows better, tell me, because that's sort of what I sort of quickly looked up and gathered without having a ton of gun knowledge. So I'll accept corrections on gun stuff. I've shot guns a few times in my life, and the last time I tried to learn how to shoot properly, I sort of I went to a range, and they were like, okay, go and like do this and do that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this and do that, and I sort of I shot it sort of okay, like it wasn't bad, like for a beginner it was pretty good, and then when the shot happened, I scared myself so much that after that I just sort of like freaked out. Not actually freaked out, like literally freaked out, but after that I got like really nervous about it, and I did not do well after that. The first one did really well because I was calm about it and I wasn't freaked out. And then after the shot happened, it sort of freaked me out, and then I started getting nervous, and it was like all over the place. Like I didn't even make the target anymore. It was so bad. It was terrible. So I would like to learn at some point properly, but with the history, okay, it's not much of a history, but with what happened last time I tried to learn, maybe I shouldn't even bother, because yeah, that is very awkward. So that's how that went, in case anyone's wondering. It's very sad.
On the roof.
It's like obviously there's gonna be a loud noise and everything. Like, why would I not expect there to be a loud noise? And it wasn't even. I don't understand why I freaked out so much, but something about like the suddenness and like the fact that I was the one that was causing the noise. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it was, because there were other people around me that were shooting, and it doesn't really bother me when other people are shooting, because I was in there, I was fine, everything was fine, and suddenly it was, I don't know. I got anxious, I guess. Guns are intense. Yeah, I mean, for me it was, and I mean, if people are used to shooting them, maybe at some point people sort of just get used to it. and maybe, hopefully, I can get there someday, but I don't know, it's just been busy, so at some point I'll try again, because I do like the idea of having guns and shooting them, but if I have guns and not shoot them and not know how to shoot them, it's just like it's more of a danger than it is any kind of safety, because it can just get taken from me and then I'll be in more trouble than it was before. So it's not smart to have one if you don't know how to use it. Were you shooting indoors? Yes, that time, yes. I have shot earlier, like when I was way younger, when I was like a child, I have shot guns outdoors, and I think maybe that was more fun, but I don't remember being freaked out, at least. But as an adult, I tried shooting once, and it was indoors at like a indoor range, yeah.
Were shoe impressions found on the rooftop?
Yes, there was.
Did those who processed that area of the crime scene collect the latent prints and the shoe impressions that you've talked about?
Yes, they did.
Remember, this is a good point to read a stipulation into the record.
All right.
The language of this has been agreed upon by the parties. The parties stipulate that investigators at the crime scene observed latent fingerprints and a palm print on a glass window near the area where the individual landed when the individual jumped from the rooftop of the Low C Center at UVU. SBI fingerprint examiner Elisa Farmer examined images of these latent fingerprints and the palm print and determined that only 3 of the latent prints, 11B, 11C, and 11D, were of comparable or of poor comparable value. She excluded Tyler Robinson as the source of any of these 3 latent prints. Ms. Farmer reviewed other prints on the window and found that they did not have adequate value for comparison. Subsequent examination.
Okay, so the only prints that they had to even like try to compare weren't his. So the part where they even have something that's usable at a point where it's like, okay, well, the guy that was running across the roof and jumped down, I don't even think that guy even did it. Like, I'm not convinced, honestly. Like, I don't know, but I'm not convinced. But I think it's reasonable, like, if they have enough other evidence, they could possibly say, okay, this guy, he was there at the time, he was at the position to be able to do it, maybe. Again, there's questions about that too. And suddenly he, got up and just Spider-Man'd his way off the roof, as people say. Also, it happened very fast. I would think they would, but by the time that you like put together a rifle and like take it out of your pants or wherever he was supposed to be keeping them, was just, again, this is stuff other people have covered, but like as a sort of summary, supposedly this guy had the gun down his pants, even though he was wearing pretty, like, not skinny jeans, but not very like baggy jeans. So I think we'd be able to tell if there was a rifle in there. And that the limping was also off. He was sort of like limping on one leg and then the opposite leg, and also like forgot to limp for a small portion. So the whole thing was weird. And again, even if you have all this other stuff, the figure that runs up onto the roof, if the rifle was down the pants and if it was not put together, as they say, it would take some time to, get it out of your pants and put it together and, set up, take the shot. I guess, I don't know if he like unscrewed the gun back and then put it back together again later. I don't know what exactly they're saying happened, but basically it happened very quickly. It doesn't seem like enough time to do any of that. Even if that figure that was on the roof was the one that took the shot. But it seems like even if we assume that was the figure that took the shot, the prints that they have at the locations where the figure like jumped down off the roof, those aren't even the prints of Tyler Robinson. Like, they checked and it's not his prints. So
Of these 3 actual latent prints by the FBI were inconclusive. That area that was described in that stipulation, is that the area in the glass window that you're talking about?
Yes, that is.
That's on the northeast corner of the Low C Center?
Yes.
And that's the area where we see in the video an individual drop from the roof?
Yes.
I'll move on to another.
all right. Next we'll look at.
Okay, before you hit play here, Sergeant Falmuina, do you see what's on the screen in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Can you see the suspect in this image?
Yes.
Will you describe where that suspect is?
He's on the rooftop, let's say on the gravel part, and this would have been close to the northeast side of that building.
timestamp is 12:23:47 p.m., is that right?
Yes.
And that portion of the image that we see there, the video, is the top portion of the image slightly to the left of center, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, we're at 8:01. Kimberly, will you please hit play there? Let's go ahead and pause it. Pausing it at 8:20. Were you able to determine if the suspect touched the glass when he dropped from the roof?
Not at the time when we
Again, it's so like if you don't know where to look, you can't even tell anything is happening. So I don't think this is the full video. I think this might be from like this point. So where the dropping off eventually happens. So can you see my mouse? Yeah. So like right over here is where the figure eventually jumps down right at this point. And then the video starts. I don't know if this is the one that starts over here because again, it's so tiny, hard to tell. But the full video, when they do play the full video, I don't know if it's here or a later point. The video starts with the figure like right over here on the roof, and it runs up to like right over there somewhere, and then pauses, sort of maybe lays down, and then sort of gets up and runs behind this thing, behind there, and then comes out on the other side of this thing here, and runs up to this corner, and Spider-Man's off the side. So that's what to look for, because even when I know what to look for, I still don't see it. Like sometimes I have to like really like, okay, where was it again? Because it's so indistinguishable from like anything else. Like it's hardly even there. It's so small.
Let's go ahead and pause it. Pausing it at 8:20. Were you?
Yeah, I can't even see it happening. It must be like this part over here or something, because it's so tiny. The part he was walking down the stairs, you could see the imprint of his phone, but not the rifle. Laws of physics works in mysterious ways, I guess. Or he was walking down the stairs, you could see the imprint. Oh, like in his pocket. That's a great point. Yeah, there's totally a rifle down there, but it's like inside his leg somehow. He's got he's an amputee, and it's like inside the leg. That's how that works apparently. That's the only way it could possibly. And even with that wouldn't really work, because at some point it has to come back out, unless like, okay, this is getting kind of out of hand. I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop there before it gets ridiculous. It's already gotten ridiculous, but before it gets more ridiculous than that.
Able to determine if the suspect touched the glass when he dropped from the roof?
Not at the time when we first saw the video, no.
Okay. Were you later able to make any determination on that?
Yes, because the video we had was pretty grainy at the time at the command post, and it wasn't until we're actually able to get the footage directly from UVU.
And when you actually got that footage, could you zoom in and get a better picture?
Yes,
And were you able to determine at that time whether the suspect touched the window?
yes.
What was your determination?
We determined that he was not, or he did not touch it.
Thank you. Nothing else?
Okay, so the prints aren't even relevant. So even if those could have been like maybe the prints that they didn't, because there were some prints that weren't usable. So even if the prints that weren't usable were Tyler's, they couldn't have been, because the suspect did not touch the window. So even if you're like, okay, well, there were some prints that they said weren't Tyler's, but then what about the other prints? There was like other prints on the window. What if those other prints could have been Tyler's, but they like couldn't figure it out? Well, those couldn't have been, like, there's no evidence there to find, apparently. How is she related to Dwayne Johnson? Wait, what? I'm confused. But welcome. Into the break, welcome back. At that point, he had the rifle together, wrapped by the towel, not in his pants. No, I think we were talking earlier when we're talking about when he was walking down the stairs. That's when he would have supposedly had it in his pants. Is that a rifle in your pants, or are you happy to see Hey, that's not allowed. Not funny. Okay, I admit it was kind of funny, but it's inappropriate. Let's leave it at that. It is inappropriate. But it was a little funny. But I think it's too soon. I think give it like a couple years, and maybe it'll be okay then. Because eventually you can add a little bit of comedy into things that are tragic. After some time, I don't think it's been long enough. It's like time. What is it? What is comedy? Is like tragedy. I can never say that word properly. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother. Something bad happens plus time is comedy. There are certain words I still can't say. It's part of the whole English as a second language thing. And generally it's pretty good, but there are certain words that still trip me up. All these years later. I meant when he was making his way up to the roof. Yeah. Time heals all wounds. Yeah, well, it hasn't been enough time, so give it a little bit more time. Oh, okay, no, I have to go to the next one. 1 second. Okay, there's more window stuff. Okay, we'll skip that one because we kind of get the window thing. And we'll do this one.
A policy, standard 7.4, which says, where possible, the laboratory shall retain or return a portion of the evidence, sample, or extract.
That is correct. And we do actually return the remaining extract, the liquid from our DNA testing. So we did consume the swab. However, there was a small amount of liquid that was left and returned.
On some of the items, right?
I believe on all of the items.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. And that policy that I read is from your lab policy, right? The
Yes.
FBI's lab policy.
Yes, it is.
And then is there also a similar policy from the quality assurance standards, the FBI quality assurance standards, which says the laboratory must have a policy on sample consumption. The policy is expected to provide instruction for if and when the laboratory may or may not consume a sample and any documentation that the laboratory requires.
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Now, your report indicates that certain samples were destroyed, consumed, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And which samples were consumed?
Items 1 through 6, which were swabs from possible smudge, swabs of hand swipe, swabs from possible sweat drop, swabs from possible smudge, swabs of possible smudge, and swabs from possible sweat drop. In addition to items 54 and 55, which were swabs of swiped finger areas and swabs of stairwell railing.
Okay, so when you wrote in your report that those items were consumed, which of those items, and by that you mean the actual swab was consumed?
Correct. So a swab is just like a Q-tip. So the cotton portion of that swab was cut off the wooden stick, placed into a tube, subjected to DNA testing. So we consider that consuming. But again, there is liquid at the end of the process that is returned to the field.
And the normal procedure in terms of sample preservation would be something called sample splitting, right? You split the swab and you use half, you save half so that your testing results can be replicated and retested.
So yes, however, again, I don't know how an item is swabbed. So even if I were to cut that swab in half, it could be that I'm testing the half that doesn't have any DNA and the other half may have some DNA, or the swab may have a little bit of DNA on one side and a lot on the other side. So for the best possible chance of getting a DNA profile, it is our practice to consume the entire swab.
So for the first 6 items, those were swabs that were taken from the northeast corner of the Losi building, correct?
Correct, yes.
And you used all of the swabs, and you concluded that there was no DNA present on any of those items, correct?
Something that I just thought of, like, why can't when they do the swabbing, I understand some areas may be too small, but when they do the swabbing, can't they just like take 2 swabs together and just like swipe along the areas that they're like swabbing on? Like, why can't they just like put 2 like right next to each other and just like, and then you have 2, and then, you know, your lab can have one and the defense lab can have one. I don't know, maybe there's some reason behind why they can't, but
That is correct.
So you couldn't do any comparative testing.
Correct. There's nothing for me to compare to.
Okay. And what did you have left after you did that in terms of the volume of extract? What was left?
So it was approximately 3 microliters. So a very small portion.
Very small portion, and you actually used 10 microliters to do your testing with those samples, right?
That is correct, yes.
So if you didn't get any results with 10, what you left over would not be sufficient to get any sort of independent testing done, correct?
It could be tested. However, my expectation, if I took 10 microliters and did not get any DNA, the remaining 3 would also still not give me any DNA.
Okay. And for item 55, that was 2.
So she's like, oh yeah, we return the rest of it. So technically we don't like, we consume it, but like you still get some of it back, but you can't use it. So, but you get some back. There you go. Have a tiny amount that you can't do anything with.
Two
That's-
swabs of a stairwell,
that's
from
handy.
a stairwell railing where the suspect touched the railing, right?
As far as I know, they were swabs from a stairwell.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand from your lab notes that you took those 2 swabs and combined them.
That is also interesting because the lawyer says the suspect touched the railing, and that's where he's like, well, that's how he's referring to the swab, and she doesn't. She seems to change it a little bit, where she said swabs from a stairwell, so that's kind of suspicious. I don't know if that's something that people have noticed, but why reward it like that if it doesn't matter? Because if it's the same thing, then you should be able to refer it to them in the same way, right? But swabs from the railing where the suspect touched the railing is potentially different from what is swabs from a stairwell, because in a stairwell, if you swab a stairwell, that could be like anywhere in a stairwell versus specifically where the suspect touched the railing. So that's kind of sus too.
Into one sample and then use the whole sample, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Before you did that, did you inquire whether the 2 swabs came from 2 different areas? For instance, maybe the suspect touched it here, but the other sample was taken somewhere else?
I did not. They were both labeled as coming from the same stairwell, and they were packaged together. So our policies and procedures is that we can combine those 2 together.
And when you do that, you create a
What? That's probably not great. If you have swaps from 2 different parts, you should probably test them separately, because what if one is like one DNA and the other one is another one? Like that seems like a bad policy.
mixture, right?
I don't know that I would agree that.
Or whoever was putting the swabs together maybe did it wrong. I don't know. Something along that route of events that happened seems like I don't know if it's a bad way. Seems like not the best way to do things.
That combining the 2 would create a mixture.
What do I know?
Given the item of evidence, a stairwell railing, I don't necessarily expect that one swab would have one person, the second swab would have a different second person,
Why not?
and combining the 2 of them creates a mixture. However, I don't know that for certain. But again,
But you just expected because reasons? Okay.
I don't know is DNA present. So our procedure is to combine and consume those swabs.
Okay. And in this case, when you did that, what you got was a complex mixture, right?
I did. I got DNA from more than 5 individuals.
Wow. Who would have thought? Who would have thought if you combine things that you might get more DNA in the same mixture?
So I could not provide a conclusion.
Oh, that's convenient. Okay. So
All right.
I think this is pretty much for this part. But basically, for this whole section, what we're showing is that the parts where the parts that sort of matter the most, that are leading up to and going away from the point where the shot was allegedly taken, those specific parts where they did try to gather DNA from those areas and prints and things like that. So all of those points did not point to Tyler. So in some areas it was a lot, like a mix of 5. In other areas it's somebody else's prints that aren't Tyler's. We don't know whose. I don't know if it's not like they ever tested for other potential suspects. They only basically had the one suspect the whole time. And then the position where the perch, as they call it, there wasn't anything there pointing to like any particular person either. So all of those points where they try to test for DNA imprints, they don't point to Tyler, which, okay, that's sort of interesting because those are the important ones, because there was DNA on other items like the rifle in the woods and the towel and the screwdriver. Those items did have Tyler's DNA on it, but all of those also had their roommate's DNA, the supposedly super gay, super furry construction worker dude that looks just like him. Okay. And that also apparently isn't trans anymore because, well, that's a separate thing. I think a lot of people have already gone through the interview, and we will go through it at some point as well. But basically, he goes by his regular name. He dresses like a regular dude. He just has like a little bit longer hair going on, like down to here, which is not that unusual for men either. So he looks like a dude that looks a lot like Tyler, honestly. Okay, let's try to kind of move things along here. I don't know if we'll be able to get through all of these items, but in either case, there will be probably another video that puts everything together too. Oh, okay, this one is the one that
Mr. Twigs exchanged.
Okay, so this is the one where I have heard people covering this, and I'll add to it as we go through it a little bit, because it's sort of a summary of what other people have covered, but this specific point I haven't heard yet.
Text messages on September 10th through 11th, 2025.
Yes, they did.
Note the dates, by the way, here. Not the day specifically, but especially the times, like the time of the days. Well, I guess it's technically 2 days because it's like the day and like that night technically is the next day. So
What time was that first text sent according to the Cellbrite extraction?
The first text was September 10th at 11 p.m.
All right, Judge, I would move to admit States Exhibit 16.1, and then pursuant to court order, I would move to publish it to the monitors.
Mr. Novak.
We have no further objections beyond those that the court, of course, is very familiar with at this point in time.
All right, I'll note the standing objections made by defense. Those objections are overruled. This 16.1 is admitted into evidence and may be published to the gallery as well as electronically distributed through the camera.
All right, Agent, I'm not going to go through every single message, but I do want to have you read aloud certain portions of them. And I apologize to counsel, these are not actually given a page number. I have page numbers, but I'm happy to confer that we're on the same page as we go. So here we're looking at page 1 of States Exhibit 16.1. If you could read a little more than halfway down where it begins Wednesday, 11 p.m., will you start reading underneath that?
Yes. So this would have been from Tyler. It says, drop what you're doing, look under your keyboard.
And I apologize, let me stop you there. How do you know that that message would have been from Tyler Robinson?
That's just, so any of the messages in gray would be from Tyler, and messages in blue would be from Lance. It's just with iPhone distinguishes the messages, and also Lance in his interview also acknowledges that, who was saying what.
And up at the top, who do we see that this thread is between?
Tyler.
All right, sorry to interrupt you.
also the whole, I don't know if you can see at the top, like the previous messages from like previous days, like the Monday one, and it says, "I love you!" exclamation point, exclamation mark, and the one was, "I love you too," or something. Yeah, too, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And like all of these, like, I don't know. Apparently it's true, but it doesn't seem like it. Again, like, especially when they were interviewing the roommate, he just seemed so indifferent. So I don't know if maybe Tyler was being tricked or something, and maybe Tyler really has the gay, and he's just super, like, doesn't look gay. I know a lot of people that are gay don't really play into the stereotypes, which is totally something that happens. So I'm not like discounting it because like, oh, well, if you don't sound gay and you don't look gay, you can't be gay. I'm not saying that. It's totally possible that they really are both gay, but it's also possible that maybe only Tyler is, and the other dude was maybe doing something shady, potentially, possibly. And what makes me say that is specifically, you know, I wish I had. I'm not sure if I have this. Yeah, I think I might have specifically skipped the twigs portion. Yeah, I think I might have to say that for that video. But basically, during the whole interview, he seemed so like clinical and indifferent about it. And I think if you were like really like this in love, you would be, and you were like interviewing with the police to basically tell them, like, turn your lover in to the police and he could potentially get killed by the justice system. It would look different somehow. Like, I'm not sure exactly what's throwing me off. The sort of common difference, the sort of clinical way he's responding to everything, the sort of, he's just like sitting there chewing gum in the beginning, just like, yeah, yep, that's sort of, I mean, it looks like him, kind of looks like he wears the same clothes. That kind of looks like him, maybe. He likes hats too, so I've never seen him wear that hat, but he likes hats, so yeah. It's so it's not how I would expect a person that is really in love with somebody who is potentially going to prison and maybe having their life taken by the justice system. That's not how I would expect them to behave in an interview like that. Also, I think somebody else pointed out that this part of the screen where the time and maybe sometimes dates is shown, this is a very weird like crack in the screen. I've had screens cracked before, and I've never had it happen when they're like this perfectly round and this perfect spot for for this perfect spot for taking a picture. But yeah, if they took a screenshot, then you would be able to see the time. I don't know if that really matters for this specific situation, but yeah, it's yeah. Oops, I missed one. Oh, that phone looks like it was dropped from a building or something. That's a great point. That's not something I have thought of, but that is a great point. He looks like a man. Yeah, he looks like a dude, and a dude that looks very much like Tyler. Again, I'm gonna keep bringing this up because I do think it's important that they look so alike. I mean, if not like literally like their eyes are different and stuff, but if you put sunglasses on and a hat, which is what the suspect was wearing like the whole time where it's important, if you dress them the same as the suspect, you could not tell the difference from the video that was provided. Okay. I was struck by that too, how casual his responses were. It was weird. It was super weird. Lack of intimacy. They could just use a screenshot, no need to phone shame. Well, I think that's kind of part of the criticism here is, oh yeah, I'm just going to show you something on my phone, instead of grabbing the actual metadata, instead of like taking the phone and extracting the data so that you know like what's legit and what isn't. You could make this in, well, first of all, you could just make this and put it up on the screen, like pull up a photo on your screen if you just Photoshop it. Or you don't even have to go that far. You can just get another phone, rename that phone's number in your phone as Tyler, send yourself some messages from that phone, and just match the other guy's like photo and name in your address book to what is expected to be, and then it's just you talking to yourself the whole time. What, you could even send yourself the same messages that the other guy might have sent, like around the same times, to make it seem like realistic or something. But the fact that they're just like, oh yeah, he just held up his phone and we sort of zoomed in on it. Sorry, what? When do cops? I don't know. In all the large true crime things that I've ever watched, they always take the phone of the spouse, the boyfriend, the whatever. They take their phone. That's what they do. I've seen them do that basically every time in every large profile murder investigation. A phone shame. All right. So I forgot what this was about because I was just kept blabbing and blabbing. Oh yeah, okay, so this is the, okay, so we're paying attention to the times here for when the rifle was seized and when the messages were sent. And
So
there we go.
read that again, starting from look under the keyboard.
That's sort of what to look for here.
So after that, then Lance responds, he says, what? And then he says, you're joking, right? And then Tyler says, fuck, I tried to delete that.
We could scroll down to page 2. And if you can continue reading along.
Okay, and Tyler says, I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you.
I wanted to keep it a secret, but I left a note under your keyboard, and I also messaged it to you for no reason whatsoever, because it was supposed to be a secret. Yeah, okay. It could be that this dude took advantage of Tyler's sexuality. That's possible. Oh, look, Streamlabs decided to show up. It's doing weird stuff, though.
And then Lance replies, you weren't the one who did it, right? And Tyler says, I am, I'm sorry. And Lance says, I thought they caught the person. And then Tyler says, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I planned to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the interrogated someone in similar clothing. That's something that I don't remember happening when everything went down. I do remember them grabbing the old dude that was like, I did it. That was weird. But I don't remember them interrogating somebody in similar clothing as him. But that's interesting that that is mentioned, considering how many people there were with similar clothing. So I don't know if this is like supposed to explain the many people with similar clothing and like explain it away. Like, okay, well, it really was that guy because he pointed out that there were other people in similar clothing. So if people eventually point out that like, oh, people were dressed similarly, then we can just show them this message that he like accounted for that here. Like he really says, the texts are probably, when they first released the messages, like the contents of the messages, that was, I was immediately like, this, like a Fed wrote this. This is not how people talk, especially like the vehicle. Sorry.
My rifle from the drop point shortly after, but most of that side.
Drop point. Like this is how Feds talk. This is not how young men, like, especially like random young supposedly gay men talk to like their boyfriend. What is this? The whole thing is Fed speak.
Side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering.
We could scroll down to page 3. Continue reading.
Lance says, why? And Tyler says, why did I do it? And Lance says, yeah. Tyler says, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. We'll update you shortly. Or sorry, we'll update you by midnight. And then Lance says, all right, stay safe. How long have you been planning this?
Scroll down a little bit, please, Kimberly.
And Tyler replies, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it.
We can scroll down to page 4.
Again, the time on this is like sometime right before midnight.
And continue reading about halfway down.
So he's talking about how he is supposedly in the view of the squad car, and he's like watching the spot and like apparently discussing all this cop stuff in this Fed speak continuously. Okay, so there's other stuff here, and I don't want to make this too long, so we can probably come back to the whole message thing at another time because that's not what this is really about. But the point is, he's sending texts that he's like there and he's watching people like over there, and he's like come back for his rifle. And the kind of one of the odd things is over here.
What was found? Was anything found in the wooded area of evidentiary value? You can sit down. Thank you. You can take that.
May you repeat your question?
Was anything of evidentiary value found in the wooded area?
Yes, in the wooded area, a rifle that was wrapped in a dark colored towel was found there.
And how did you learn about that?
I found that out because just a little bit before 6 p.m., that day I received a call from Utah County Sheriff's Office, who was tasked with searching that area.
Do you know why they searched that area in the first place?
Yeah, so they searched that area because I received a video that was from the UVU security footage. This was received by our command post on scene, and it showed who we believe was the shooter on the rooftop run from the southwest corner all the way to the northeast corner, jump down, and then continue to the northeast side of that campus, and then cross the street to Campus Drive, and then the suspect was out of camera's view after that.
Okay, so he ran basically toward and into that wooded area.
Yes.
All right. What were you told from the sheriff's office?
I was told that they found a gun, and from there I asked them to hold the scene, and that myself and FBI ERT team lead, Special Agent Kamak, would be en route.
Okay. FBI, ERT, FBI evidence response team, right?
Yes.
All right. Did you go to that area?
Yes, I did.
Did you observe the weapon?
Yes.
Will you describe what you saw?
Yeah, what I saw was a rifle that was, or at the time before even having removed it, we found, or in the bushes, we found all you could really see was just a dark towel there. So pictures were taken of that, and then eventually the gun or the towel was removed. And then once we removed the towel from the bushes is when we uncovered that the towel was actually used to wrap the gun in.
Have you reviewed State's Exhibits 10, 10.1, 10.2, and 10.3? Do you remember reviewing these?
Yes.
And are they accurate photographs of the weapon when it was recovered and shortly thereafter?
Yes.
I move the admission of State's Exhibits 10, 10.1, 10.2, and 10.3.
Defense?
No additional objections, Your Honor.
All right, and as it relates to publication, if any?
Yes, I would ask that these be published at all 3 levels.
All right, any input, Ms. Burt?
Same objections.
All right, I'll note the standing objections from defense, those are overruled. And 10.10,
10?
10.1, 10.2, 10.3 are admitted into evidence and maybe.
Sorry, I was kind of distracted for a second. But I'm not sure if they said it. But basically, long story short, the rifle was supposedly found before 6 p.m. that day is when they grabbed the rifle. But the messages that we just saw is like after 10 p.m., like almost into the next day, when he is there apparently watching all this stuff going on, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna grab my rifle, etc., etc. So it's just kind of weird that he's there for the rifle, but it's long gone by that point. So it is also kind of odd that he's doing all this Fed speak, like, oh, maybe they found it, etc. So it's not like completely a giveaway, because he does sort of say like, oh, well, maybe it's gone. But one of the things is just kind of odd, like, oh, he's there like watching them do stuff, but they've already got the rifle and everything. So I don't know. The timing is weird to me. Something else about this particular thing though is, so something that was going around Twitter is that Tyler was actually, so we heard this a while back in the story. I think it was months ago that this was brought up originally, but another place that Tyler went after all of this happened, I think it was maybe around 10 p.m. or so, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna have to find the tweet maybe, but basically during the time that he's supposed to be texting all this, like he's sitting there watching the scene. At that time, at that time, he was allegedly in a restaurant eating barbecue, like several hours away from that location. So, like, even if he left right away, it seems like the time wouldn't work out of him getting there at that time that he's texting and like discussing him like watching the squad car and whatever. So that is very odd as well, that the timing doesn't seem to work out. Like things just, the puzzles don't really fit together. And like the first thing that was kind of weird, the whole like, oh, they've got the rifle before 6 p.m. that day, but then he's there at 11 p.m. like watching them do stuff, and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna get my rifle. It's weird, like it's not there, but it's not like definitive, absolutely, like it's not impossible. But the thing that somebody else found on Twitter, I think it was, I remember the full name of the person. It's something Denizen something. I have to look at it again, but that's something else that was odd is Like they went ahead and they like interviewed the restaurant owner, and again, this will probably be in the complete put together video, but that is something else that is very weird, and it's going around Twitter. So again, I'll leave stuff out that has been sort of going around and people are discussing. Alban said that there might be still issues with that. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's fixed, but please let me know if it goes, well, if it goes down, I probably won't know, but last time it took me kind of a while to catch it. Hopefully it doesn't go down again, because that would really, really suck. That's never happened before, it just like crashing completely and not being able to even get it back for a while. So hopefully that's not an issue, but re-examination, hello, welcome back, or not back, or back maybe, whatever. Nice to see you again. Hello. I'm not sure what that emoji is of, but is that like a water bottle? I'm confused. Or like a shake or something. Okay. Let's sort of try to move it on a little bit. Oops.
And that building was the Low-C building.
Correct.
Wasn't there also a bullet found on another building?
I believe an unfired bullet had been found on another building at some point during my time there on September 10th. Yes.
Which building was that, sir?
I don't recall.
Was that considered a scene that was worth
It was apparently the computer science building.
preserving?
It was not. My recollection is that that was accounted for as an ejected cartridge from an officer who had cycled his rifle.
Okay, I thought you,
Which is weird. People don't, cops don't cycle their rifle and leave bullets lying around. That's not something they do.
you said it was an unfired bullet, and now you're saying it was a
That's correct.
cartridge?
When a weapon is cleared, an officer would make his rifle ready, which would chamber around.
Oh, I got you.
My understanding was that that's how that was accounted for.
What? Sorry, what?
So an officer claimed that bullet belonged to him or her?
That's my recollection, is that was how it was accounted for.
And when,
So there wasn't an officer that claimed it. He's like specifically avoiding saying yes. He's like, I remembered that's how it was accounted for, but not like, yes, it was claimed, and like who was claiming it, et cetera, et cetera.
when was that accounted for?
I don't know
Or
specifically.
who accounted for it, when it happened.
Or what type of bullet that was?
I don't.
Was it a 30-06, do you remember?
I don't.
Okay. Do you know where that bullet is now?
I don't.
So you had the
So he went, not he went, the cop went like straight to the right location, but the fact that there's other things going on are just not even worth remembering. They're not worth even like considering. Even though there's other bullets lying around, he's just like, oh, I don't even know what that's about, whatever. Some cop like did a thing and just left it lying there, and I don't even know which cop, I don't know when it happened, et cetera, et cetera. Like nothing. You would think he would know this kind of stuff and have
theater
answers.
area that had to be preserved. And how far out did that
It's almost like they picked a target and sort of made the evidence fit around it. It's almost like that.
stretch? The entire amphitheater or just the area around the tent or what?
My understanding was the entire amphitheater area was cordoned off, and there were attempts to secure the campus itself with a perimeter of officers who were monitoring or preventing people coming and going.
When you arrived on the scene, were you aware that an individual had been taken into custody?
I had heard that, yes.
Did you ever have any interaction with that individual?
I did not.
And were you advised at any point that that person was no longer a person of interest?
Information was passed down that the individual was not considered to be a suspect in the shooting.
And when was that?
So there's also some guy there hanging, and he's just some dude. Okay.
Time-wise.
I don't recall specifically, but I know I was on campus when I'd heard.
So whoever arrested him as a potential suspect got that wrong. He wasn't the actual suspect, right?
So we got what wrong?
That he was the shooter.
The person I believed to be the shooter was not the individual who was taken into custody, correct?
And then was there anybody else taken into custody as a person of interest?
There were several people who were detained for questioning and who were interviewed throughout the investigation.
And none of those people were they were all ultimately cleared by you or somebody connected with you.
Correct.
And were there any other guns confiscated on the scene that day?
There were other firearms that were located on the scene, yes.
How many guns were confiscated that day?
He said located, but she's asking confiscated. See, this is something this guy has been doing the whole time. Like every time he's interviewed, he is not answering the questions directly. He's answering the questions that aren't asked or replying in a way that answers a different question than the one that is asked. He's constantly doing that. Don't forget to hydrate. I do need to probably take a break here in a bit and drink some water and use the restroom and stuff. But thank you for reminding me. that is a good idea. My cop friend told me their bullets are counted if anyone came back from their shift with one less bullet and they cannot account for it, they would have a very bad day. That makes sense. What he described as like, oh, some cop just like, it's normal for them to just like cycle their bullets and leave them lying around. That does not make sense. So yeah, even if they didn't count their bullets, that would still not make sense to me, that it would be normal for them to leave them lying around. But the fact that they even count them, that makes it even more crazy. Crystal, hello. I thought I missed your live. Nope, I'm here. I did start earlier and then there were some internet issues, I guess, or something, because it crashed randomly. It was crazy, but here I am. I might have to take a break here in a minute. Probably bad timing, huh? But it would only take a few minutes. I also need to take a trip to the hydration station. That's a great way of calling it. Hydration station. It even rhymes. Okay, let me finish out this one and then we'll take a quick break.
I don't know specifically confiscated, but I know that there was a firearm found in a backpack that was accounted for during the day.
What type of firearm was that?
That was a handgun.
Any other guns that were found on the scene?
Not that I recall.
Okay, I'm not going to get too into the weeds here. The point is that there's...
Turning to the scene at UVU on September...
There's seems to be not exactly like conflicting information, but like was that the lead investigator? One person seems like, oh, this bullet is like whatever, and makes up like a crazy story about it. And then the other guy, it seems to know at least the person and some more stuff about it, but again, it's all like somebody said, somebody like all of the stuff that is brought up. It's like, oh, well, who is so and so, or who told you this, or who saw this? Like, it's like, oh yeah, some person. Oh, somebody told me, or like I heard, or it was accounted for. Like, by whom? Like, who accounted for it, or who told you at least? Who saw it happen? Like, nothing. Like, no chain of custody or a chain of custody for even like information whatsoever.
September 10th, that a bullet was found on a roof. Do you remember that testimony?
I do.
Do you have knowledge about that bullet, what that is about?
Yes, I do.
What roof was that bullet found on?
I believe it was found on the computer science building on the roof, on the far east side of the roof of the building itself.
How do you know that it was found there?
I reviewed the agent's report that found that, documented it, and collected it.
What agent was that?
It was Agent Ben Schneider with SBI.
Are you aware of where the computer science building is on campus?
Yes.
Can you explain generally where that is located?
Yeah, from where the LOSI building is, it's a building directly kind of south and east of there, from the LOSI.
Southeast from the LOSI building. Where is it in connection to the auditorium section that we've been talking about where Mr. Kirk was stationed?
It's east of there. East and a little bit south, and mostly east.
Would there have been, from that roof of the computer science building, to your knowledge, would there have been a line of sight to Mr. Kirk's tent?
No, not according to the agent. Agent Ben Schneider, there was not a line of sight from there to where the tent was, where Mr. Kirk was.
Did you learn from Agent Snyder what caliber that bullet was?
Yes, I did.
And what was that?
It was a .223 caliber.
What is a live round?
It's a round.
It's weird, like, why does this guy know all this stuff, but the other guy who's supposed to be the lead investigator, I'm told, I get all of them confused. I should have prepared a little bit better, but I get all of the people confused that the state presents. They all seem shady, so I can't differentiate.
Round that had not been fired, so it still had the projectile and as a fully functional bullet with ammunition with the bullet.
Did you learn if this .223 bullet found on top of the computer science building was a live round?
Yes.
And how do you know that?
It was still intact. Still had the primer had not been it was not dented, had been fired. It still had the bullet projectile in the end. It's still sealed.
Did you observe this bullet personally, or is this information you're getting from Agent Snyder?
From Agent Ben Schneider.
All right, turning to a different topic. And Judge, I'm aware.
So at least he has the person that found it and he was told how this stuff happened. But why can't we hear from Agent Schneider? Like, why do we hear about this bullet from these other people, but we don't hear from the guy who actually found it. That would be nice, especially since the lead investigator didn't even like know what anything was anything about this thing. And then I don't know if this one is a little bit redundant, I think, but
Is this a photograph of one of the cartridges that was found in the gun?
Yes, it is.
And what are we looking at here in this view of page 1 on Exhibit 20?
This is the head stamp of it, and it says it is according to the head stamp, it is a Remington 30-06 Springfield.
Is that a different caliber than a .223 round?
Yes, it is.
Will you look at page 2 of Exhibit 20? Will you read the markings here?
Hey, fascist.
And page 3?
this is sort of they're sort of going a separate thing, but basically the point is that okay, well, it's not the 30-06, so whatever, we don't even care what it is. It's not even worth keeping. Like, oh well, this is the 30-06, this is the one we care about, but the fact that there's other bullets found is sort of like, oh, whatever, irrelevant. Which you would think, like, if something big like this happens and there's a bullet on another roof that is like a different type of thing, you're just like, yeah, whatever, don't care, throw it out. I don't know. It seems like they picked a target and then they're making it fit. That's just what it seems like. Is to not even like, oh, you know, some I heard it was accounted for or whatever, but not anything else about it. Like the first guy was crazy. Okay. Okay, this part. Okay, this is the DNA thing. I don't know if we want to do this one. This is the rifle one. Undefined DNA from up to 4 people on every surface proves. Okay, so, and again, it's something that means people touched it, not necessarily that they shot it. There are 3 unknown individuals. And then the 1 in a trillion is already so when they're like, oh, it's a trillion chance or whatever. Oh well, that also bakes in the 3 other unknown individuals whose DNA was found on it too. So that it accounts for that apparently. And then there's another 4 unknowns on one surface of it, of the butt plate. The 6.28 billion plus 3 unknowns is the one non-trillion surface, and it's still like a handful of people. So everything about DNA on the rifle is still many people. There are like, depending on where you check on the rifle, there's between like 3 and 5. No, it's between 3 and 4 other people on the rifle besides Tyler in different places. And when they present these numbers as like, oh, it's like so crazy unlikely that it's anybody else, it already accounts for those unknown people being, it's basically the unknown people are part of the math. So I'm not singing that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but from what I saw when the prosecutor was questioning the officers and investigators, they were answering straightforwardly, but when they were cross-examined, they were forgetful and deflecting. When the prosecutor was questioning, but when they, yeah, I agree. Well, that makes sense though. It's like the state's witnesses are gonna be like they're gonna be practicing like the question answer thing beforehand, so they already know everything they're gonna be asked, but they're probably even going to be practicing like what the cross-examination is going to be, but they don't know for sure exactly the questions ahead of time. But for their own side, they're going to already know the questions and everything. They probably practiced everything ahead of time. Bullet on the computer building and a holster in the courtyard, no chain of custody, so odd. Yeah, the chain of custody is even worse than that. The next one actually that we're covering is actually related to chain of custody. So it's funny you mentioned that here, because this number 5 is exactly about that. Not the holster, but it's more about the perch. Every time I call it the perch, they call it the perch. I call it it just seems silly to me to call it a perch. You just expect like a bird hanging out on it. It's not a laughing matter. It's not a laughing matter. Not a laughing matter. But basically, this one is. I do want to take a break here, but the next one is going to be about the perch and how basically there's all this stuff happening on the perch and there's no chain of custody for a certain period of time. And but not even the chain of custody, but it wasn't even like a controlled scene for a while. There were people like walking through it. He didn't have like his body camera died, and anyway, there's other stuff. So let me take a quick break, and then I'll take a break, and then it'll be about 5 minutes or so, and then I will return, and we'll do number 5 through 9 if we get that far, hopefully, because it is getting a little late. But I at least want to get the next. I at least want to get the next 2 because the last, let's see, number 7 was already covered by some people. How there was like other people in the car. Prosecutor, yeah. So I put the ones that other people have covered sort of last, but this next one I haven't seen anybody cover. So I do want to get at least the next one, but I'll take a break first because I've been kind of holding off for a while. Okay. Let me catch up here. Honestly, prosecutor did a better job with O.J. Simpson than this. Your comments have been so on point the whole time. Thank you, and thank you for correcting me about the investigator too. They honestly look all the same to me. I know they look different, like now that I look at them, but they're just okay. Again, I'll be right back in like 5 minutes. Perch. Okay, yeah. Okay, you think of fish, I'll think of bird, but I think bird thinks bird makes more sense. I will not get lost. Okay. I will try not to get lost anyway. It's not like that big of a house, so I think I'll be okay. Let me put the BRB screen up, and I shall return. Okay. I'm back. Let's try to get through the rest of these because it is getting kind of late. Okay. Next one. Okay. Going fifth one, fifth item. And okay, so this is the one where the perch, and they're sort of discussing everything that happened, or rather didn't happen, to preserve the perch, which is, as far as the scene of the crime goes, this is probably the most important one, aside from where Charlie was. As far as like who did this, this perch here, that is the most important part of all the different areas of, like, there's different parts where like it's technically a crime scene where they, like, he walked from one place to another, he went here, he did this, he did that. Supposedly it was the same person, which I don't believe, but, and then that's where Charlie was, and then what might have been happening there, who was around that area, the other TPUSA people, the other shady stuff that was happening down there. And then there was this perch. And if this is where the shot was taken that killed Charlie, this is like the most important spot. So I guess we can check out how they deal with it. Oh, oops, I forgot to switch it. 1 second. I was like, okay, let's start playing it. I'm glad I went to check to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay.
Do you know who was?
I don't.
And when you got up to the roof that afternoon, was anybody around that was law enforcement?
No.
Nobody on the roof?
No.
Nobody on the stairway?
No.
Nobody on the walkway?
No.
Okay. And in the state of Utah, is a campus a gun-free zone? Are students allowed to have guns on campus?
It's an open carry state, so yes.
And did you see anybody that was armed that day other than law enforcement?
I did not see.
Were you aware of whether Mr. Kirk had his own security team present there with him?
Yes.
Did you communicate with any of those people?
I saw one individual that was on top of the hall flags right next to me, yes.
Okay, and that was before the shooting?
Yes, and then I saw several down in the crowds and down by him, yes.
And were you aware of whether that person was armed either?
I was aware he was armed.
Okay. Was there any other law enforcement agency besides Mr. Kirk's private security team and your 6 officers, including you, that were covering that event that day? In other words, did you have any Provo police or Orem police or anyone that you knew of, or federal agencies?
I don't know.
You never saw any that day?
No, not until the response came in.
And you did mention, I think I heard you just a few minutes ago testify, you turned over the scene on the roof to a woman who was a deputy sheriff, right?
Yes.
And that you turned over the scene where the individual dropped off to, I believe you said, was it Orem police?
Payson.
Payson police, thank you. Those people weren't there till after the shooting, right? They were part of just a response of everybody in the area?
Correct.
Okay. Did you receive any type of briefing materials, written materials prior to the event that talked about who would be covering what or anything like that?
No, not that morning. Like I said, it started getting hectic, so we were trying to get down to the security area and push people away from the top of the tent.
Now,
Yeah, why didn't they have a plan? If they had that many people for the event, and wouldn't you want to have a better sort of coverage plan situation, especially since Charlie was always like, oh, we're getting death threats, and Erika is like, oh, we're getting death threats, and they're always getting death threats. So wouldn't you think that if somebody's always getting these death threats and there's a huge crowd like this, even if the person wasn't getting the threats, and if they were like a perfectly like probably safe person that nobody really cared to hurt, even if that was the case, simply having a crowd this size can be dangerous. And normally, especially for a school, it seems like you would want coverage on that, like an ambulance on site, some security coverage, whether it's cops or like the security that they have. And if they don't have enough, they would want to have coverage by local whatever kind of like law enforcement is available. And it seems like nobody was really trying to be careful, because the Charlie security was like, oh, well, we didn't, we didn't really have the roofs covered. We thought that, well, not the I don't think it's their security. Somebody from TPUSA said that, oh, well, we didn't really have the roofs covered because we figured the cops would do that. And then the cops were like, well, we didn't really have the roofs covered because we just sort of got there and, they had their own security. So, like, I don't know. For something like this, everything is fishy. Everything about this event is fishy. Ooh, interesting. This is the dude that the body cam died. Okay, yeah. Because he's the, like, oh yeah, I was there, I was this, I was that. My friend told me that the body cams are charged by the department, so it should have been fully charged and ready for his shift. Yeah, and apparently it was only like 27 minutes that his body cam was running, so there's no way it should have, ran out of battery. Like, it was only running for 27 minutes that day. Professor Hizzle, welcome back. Nice to see you. I guess Utah works differently. It seems like, speaking of that, I know this might be kind of in jest, but Utah working differently seems to be. I don't know if. Okay, for a second, let's just pretend that this might be like a setup or a cover up or some sort of. Oh, pick your favorite conspiracy about this. Let's just pretend for a minute that whatever conspiracy is true. It seems like if that was the case, if whatever conspiracy is true, Utah seems like a great state to execute this sort of mission or whatever, this conspiracy. Let's just call it conspiracy for now. Utah seems like a pretty decent place to do that because of all these special laws and stuff they have. For instance, this whole like preliminary hearing thing where I don't know if other states have this. I wouldn't be surprised if other states have this, but maybe I'm just not familiar with how the law works. But they keep saying, well, in Utah, when this happens, it's this special thing. And in Utah, when this happens, this sort of evidence can count for this. And in Utah, when this happens, this sort of thing is admissible. And in Utah, when this happens, they have some special law where these people are allowed to do this and these people are allowed to do that. And this special thing is allowed for this special reason. And they have this special like victims representative thing and they have this and that. So it seems like Utah has a lot of this stuff that seems like it really works well for the prosecution just in general. And that's something that I've sort of noticed throughout. Every time somebody mentions, oh, well, because it's Utah, they have this thing that works this special way for like this part of the case. And I've always found that interesting because it seems like all these like, oh, well, this is Utah, so therefore those things seem to be adding up a lot. So I don't know, it's just something I've noticed. I might as, not that I'm specifically saying anything about it one way or another, it's just sort of like, oh, well, every time they say like, oh, well, it's Utah, so I don't know if it might be worth like a separate video of trying to see like, oh, well, what if it was another state and trying to compare the different special laws that they have used in this case so far and compare them to how other states do things and see how specific decisions would have played differently in different states. But that would be a pretty large undertaking as far as research goes. So it might have to wait until I at least want to get the honoring videos out. And then there's a few more that I found that are just like gold that I really, really want to get out because I found some really, 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 really cool stuff. And by cool, I mean kind of shady, suspicious things. That's what I mean by cool. Not that it's cool to have shady and suspicious things, but it's cool that like, oh, I found stuff and I get excited when I find things that other people haven't covered yet. So I do want to get at least some of those things released, but maybe then I'll start sort of compiling info for this stuff. But okay, let's sort of move on here because I'm blabbing again, and this is a blab-free zone for now.
Now, when this event was over, you prepared a report, is that right?
I did.
And in the report, it covers a lot of what you testified to with Mr. Grunander, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I think you said you attended, 600 hours of post-training?
It's around 600 hours, yes.
And I'm sure somewhere in that training, you were taught the importance of your police report
Yes.
and how it will be relied on years later to recreate events like it's being done right now. And so you...
Burn. she's I forgot that this was something that she said. She's basically like she's like it's like he's getting called into the principal's office and she's like she's not mad, but she's disappointed. That's kind of the sort of the feeling I get from this sort of scene here. She's like she like caught him like not behaving properly and he has to explain himself now, and she's like, well, what about all this stuff, huh? What about all this stuff? And he's like, yep, I know. She's very disappointed. She's about to catch him. But knowing your luck the day before you release your cool stuff vid, Candace will cover it. Oh my god, don't even jinx it. Oh my goodness. Don't even jinx it. Honestly, that has happened so many times now. And every time I tell myself, it's okay, it makes sense. Like, she has a bigger team. She's got all the time to focus on the stuff. She doesn't have, like, a day job and this and this and that. And I'm like, okay, it makes sense that people with more time and more dedicated resources can like put things out quickly, like quicker than I can. So I just try to get over it, move on. It's a team effort. It truly is a team effort, and I appreciate like everybody that adds to the investigation in general. There's people on Twitter, people on TikTok, on YouTube. All of these different people add all these different things to the investigation, and I think without having everybody add a little bit of something, it would not progress nearly as far as it has progressed, as far as like things we've found out collectively. But it's still like all of that being said, all of that is absolutely true, and I appreciate all of it. But even with that being said, it's always something special when you find something that nobody knows yet, and it's like, oh, I found something really interesting, and nobody knows it yet, and you're just like, I'm gonna tell people, it's gonna be so interesting. People are gonna be like, whoa, and then somebody else gets to it first, and you're like, ah, darn it. I'm glad people know now, but also, it's a weird thing that I didn't think I would ever care about, but it's sort of, I don't know. It is what it is.
You know it's really important to be as accurate as possible in your report.
Yep.
Can we put up Bagley 1? Can we switch it over to the defense table, please? Thank you so much. And show it only to the witness.
All right.
Do you see that report in front of you?
I do.
And is that the report that you prepared, or did you prepare this report?
I didn't. I did a supplement on it, but I didn't prepare the report. So, because the incident was a big agency assist, so obviously it says it has all the responding officers to that effect.
Oh, we need to go to the page. Thank you for pointing that out. Can we please move to page 3 or 5, maybe? All right, now let me ask the question again. Sorry, we just had the cover sheet up. Is that your report?
Yes, this is.
All right, and did you prepare that?
I did.
When did you prepare this report?
It looks like it was done the next day, either that day or the next day, because I want to make sure that I had it done where everything was fresh on my mind.
And do you have
It's weird that he doesn't remember that, but okay. I mean, not that it's a big deal, but you would think like when something big like this happens, I don't know.
a copy of it in front of you?
I do, as a matter of fact.
May I just step in and just make sure that it's the same one? May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
No, you're good.
We got to ask this now. Did you use AI to help you prepare your report?
I did not.
Okay, good. When you prepared your report, you referenced when you first heard the shot, don't you?
Yes.
And what is the time that you say that you heard the shot?
12:23.
Right. And when you wrote that report, you did not state in your report the direction you heard that shot come from, did you?
No, apparently not.
And take your time and look at the whole report and see if there's anywhere in there where you ever mentioned that it came from the east or to your right.
I don't see a direction.
Okay. And you also, I believe, in your report, you also don't state whether or not, you don't mention anything about thinking it came from the Low C building or anything like that, right?
Later on, when I recognized when I saw the empty holsters, I think I actually said that in there, where I see the empty holsters, I realized the line of sight.
Okay, so let's talk about that holster for a minute. So you heard the shot, and you only heard one shot, correct?
Yes.
And then you came down from the walkway above the tent, right?
Yes.
And you came down to really the grassy area that we've all been looking at, the courtyard.
Yes.
And there was kind of chaos, people running around.
Yep.
Yes. And while you were down there, you saw what you said was an empty holster.
Yeah, as I was clearing people out and making sure that the evidence was preserved, about towards the top, after a little bit, I saw an empty holster sitting there.
And when you say towards the top, can you be specific and tell us where you were?
So on the south side in the courtyard, there's some tiers of seating where the grass is different levels, and it was towards the top, maybe just right before the cement is where everybody's standing, though there's different levels.
Cement?
Towards the top on the grass.
And when you
Cement? What? What is it called again? Cement? Oh, welcome. Thanks for joining. Now I can add more emojis. I want to add those the bird hands. The bird hands. That's gonna be funny. But thank you, welcome. I appreciate it.
saw the holster,
You get to see the next video that's coming out before everybody else does. Well, a day before, but thank you.
can you describe to me what it looked like?
An empty concealed holster
For what type of
for a
weapon?
pistol.
Okay. And did it have any markings on it?
I didn't even know, not that I noticed.
And what happened to that holster?
I have no idea.
Did you ever take custody of it?
Nope.
Did you ever tell anyone else to take custody of it?
Nope.
You just left it on the grass?
I did.
It's a cement. What did he say? What did he say? Cement. What is cement?
Was it ever fingerprinted to your knowledge?
I have no idea.
Also, this whole thing, like, I can see why she started out with, like, I keep saying, like, I apologize. Sometimes it happens. I can see why she started out saying, oh, well, you did learn, you were taught at your academy thing or whatever. You were taught that when people reference your report later, it's very important to include everything. And I like how she started with that, because now every time he says, like, oh, yep, nope, that's not included. No, that's not in here. No, didn't check that, didn't do this. It's like, Oh, glow in the dark. I didn't even notice you did that as well. It didn't show up in the chat. Did you secretly do it? Somehow in secret, but I found out. I was like, wait a minute. But you also get to see the next video ahead of everybody else. Welcome. Siemens. Oh, yeah, that is weird that it didn't show up. I wonder if it was maybe part of the issues that maybe YouTube was having. Maybe it wasn't even on my end. Exactly. I was wondering. I was like, wait, there's an extra one. All right, let's get back to this.
At some point, there were drones in the air. Is that right? Did you become aware of that?
Yes, I was made aware of that.
Right. Do you know who put the drones in the air?
Sergeant Cam Nelson with the Provo Police Department.
So it wasn't UVU?
No.
Did you guys even have drone capability? Did you have a drone on campus that you used?
No.
All right. So someone would have had to bring one after the shooting on.
That is also weird because they did apparently watch drone footage ahead of time. I think it was Frank Turk that was like, oh yeah, we show Charlie. Ooh, monies. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. About time we reach those goals, drink some. Ooh. I don't drink alcohol, but I will drink some water. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, okay. It is weird that maybe it didn't show up because it was too close together or something. Okay. Let us resume. But thank you again. I appreciate it.
The campus, because you wouldn't have had one there.
True.
Right. You mentioned that as you were coming down into the grassy area from the top above the tent, you come down the Hall of Flags, you come into the grassy area. You mentioned that you heard, I guess on your radio, that...
Oh, let me refresh the thing. There we go. Oopsie. I do this sometimes where I make it full screen.
They had a suspect in custody.
Yes.
And so how long do you think between the shot being fired did you hear that?
I was in, like I said, trying to get down the stairs, jumping over people, trying not to step on people as people were fighting up. Within 30 seconds, maybe.
All right. So they pretty much instantly had someone in custody.
Yes, and that's why I was quite surprised.
Were you aware of where the person was taken into custody?
Right down by where Charlie Kirk was sitting by his tent, somewhere down there.
So in the courtyard area, the person would have been in the courtyard area at the time of the shooting.
Yes.
Was that person in or near or around the holster in any way?
No.
You don't know?
No, he wasn't. Where the holster was up on the top level up there, and it was where when the incident happened, when Charlie got shot. Within seconds, the other officer that was down by him said that he was in custody with the prisoner of the shooter. So
That is very weird. So now there's not only an extra bullet lying around on a different building, there's also an extra holster lying around, and none of these things are important whatsoever. They sort of wave everything away except for like exactly where they want to look. I thought I missed your live stream. Woke up just now and joined. Oh, good. Welcome.
So
right there.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling well yesterday and I fell asleep. It never happened before, so I apologize, but sometimes it works out for the best, I guess. So, all right. There we go.
At that time, it was your understanding the person they took into custody was close by Mr. Kirk, is that right?
Yep.
But it didn't occur to you that, well, that's not where I heard the shot come from. They must have the wrong person. I should talk to somebody.
During the chaos moment, no. That they said they had a person in custody. I figured those guys saw something I didn't see. They took the person in custody, and I thought that was him.
Okay. This would be a good stopping place. I'm about to start another section.
Okay.
So maybe we could go 5 minutes early for lunch.
Absolutely. All right. Note for
It's supposed to be
I worked
13.
well with them, but I was not a sniper.
Done plan that you were given for that event.
For this event, no.
Okay. And you also mentioned that you've done SWAT in the past.
Yes.
Were you a sniper?
I worked well with them, but I was not a sniper.
Okay. So when you,
Let's skip a little bit forward because it's supposed to be at 2:13.
you mentioned that kind of navigate the stairs with the crowd and the chaos and everything, and then you were in the grassy area of the courtyard for a bit. Is that right?
I guess about 30 seconds to get down the stairs, and then I went right down to where the tent was.
And that's where you found the holster.
No, the holster was up higher. So I went down by the tent, so it was lower level. So as I came down towards where Charlie Kirk was shot, I went down towards the tent just to see what was going on down there because I didn't know exactly what. I heard the gunshot, didn't know exactly what was going on.
I'm sorry, I missed that you went down to the tent. So let me ask you about that. So what did you do when you got down to the tent?
When I got down to the tent, Charlie was gone. They put him in an SUV and left. At that moment, there were still some people running around, so I decided to preserve the scene as much as I could with trying to escort people out, and that's why I went back in and started pushing people off the grass area to conserve any ammunition or any casings or anything to that effect that would be around. I wanted to make sure people were off and there was as much evidence preserved as possible.
So just to be clear, by the time you got to the tent, Mr. Kirk had already been removed and taken from the scene. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So in your professional opinion, what was the perimeter of the crime scene?
What do you mean by the perimeter?
The perimeter, like how far did this crime scene stretch? Like where did you want people to move off of?
Well, at first I wanted them all off the grass because, like I said, I thought we had a suspect in custody, so to me it would be a close encounter, so I was trying to push everybody off the grass in case there were shell casings to that effect that got on the grass. So after I pushed them off to that part and getting up to the top where I saw that empty holster, when I saw that empty holster is when things started slowing down for me a little bit. All the chaos and stuff that's when I realized that was a rifle shot, not a handgun shot.
Okay. And that's when you saw the low-C building and it occurred to you should go check it out.
Yes, it was right in my line of sight.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the whole time that this is going on.
That is convenient that he went to the exact building where, like, supposedly everything happened because, I mean, there's a bunch of buildings around where you could potentially take a shot from.
You had an active body camera on your, I guess your collar, is that right?
I was right on my
chest.
chest, yes.
Okay, and it was on.
Yes.
And it appears to me from reviewing your body camera that there was another individual who was with you that went to the low-C building who was in civilian clothing but appeared to have a gun. Who was that?
I don't know who he was exactly. He had a badge on, and I had somebody with me to back me up, so I ran up the stairs to make sure.
He was in civilian clothing and he had a badge on, and he doesn't know who it was. And he was just never bothered to be like, well, who are you? maybe like on the way up, maybe if they were like running together, he'd be like, hey, who are you? Didn't occur to ask. There's just some dude in civilian clothing, but with a badge. Civilian clothing, but with a badge. I don't know. It is alleged by some people that there were potentially plain-clothed people who might have badges that might have been up to no good, but again, just a possibility.
Make sure I had somebody with me.
So you don't know what agency he's from or where he's from?
No.
And he...
Nothing. Not even... Not even which agency, not even a name, nothing. Just some random dude that was armed that was running around with him over there during this event. He didn't even bother, like... Did he even check if the badge was real? What if it was, like, a fake badge? Because people can buy badges that look fake. He didn't even know what agency. It's just there was a badge in general. It was something that looked like a badge, because if he didn't know which agency it was, he couldn't figure out, like, I don't know if you could probably tell by the badge which agency it is, and if he didn't know which agency, he probably didn't look very closely at it. So it could have even been a fake one, as far as he knows. Like you said, this lady looks and sounds like school principal questioning him, like in some kind of detention. She does have not even those questions earlier, even though those were kind of exactly that vibe. But her whole thing, she even kind of looks like what I expect school principals to look like. I don't know. No, this part is sus as hell. I agree. Some random dude is running around armed, and you don't even know what agency he's from, and you don't bother to ask. This tells us that anytime there's a big event, there are undercover agents and cops. I thought China was the super surveillance state. And I guess they're just more open about it.
It looked like you had a pistol.
Yes.
Is that right?
A handgun, yes.
Or a handgun. And so the two of you go to the Losi building.
Yes.
When you reviewed the videotape at the police department later, did you check to see if anyone had been on the Losi building after the shooting, after this individual had jumped off that you've already talked about? Was there anybody else on the roof? Did you check and see in that gap of time?
In that gap of time, no. So once I put up the barrier, I only walked up to about that point, then I went down and reviewed the video from that moment on.
So are you able to say for one way or the other if anyone else had been on that roof in between when the person jumped off the building and when you came on the roof? Are you able to say one way or the other?
There was people up there looking for an individual that ran that way, because when I first got told the individual ran heading north, that we didn't know where the shooter was, so we started climbing up and clearing the building, and it wasn't until I went to the...
Who is we? Because now it's not only that one guy that was running around with him that was armed from mystery agency, potentially a random person in plain clothing. There's also other people running around this whole perch area. So this whole, like, supposedly the perch where the shot was taken from, there's a bunch of people running around that whole area. Before he even gets there, the scene is already tainted, basically.
The PD, and I actually saw him jump off the building. I knew he was off the building.
Let me rephrase that, because I think I either asked it badly or you misunderstood me. So let me go back again. So from the time that the individual that you spotted on the video jumped off the roof, right? The individual that you thought was in the prone position.
Okay.
Between that and when you got on the roof, did you ever check to see if anybody else had been on the roof in that period of time?
Yeah, and I didn't see anybody.
So you did.
What? He literally just said that there were a bunch of people running around up there because they saw that somebody ran that way. He just said that. Did he not just say that? Make it make sense.
I didn't notice anybody.
You didn't.
How did you not notice anybody when you just said that there were people up there?
Did you look on the video to see that entire? Okay, that's what I'm asking. So you did not review the video to see if there was someone between you, that individual jumping off, and you coming on, if anybody had been on or disturbed that scene in any way?
And they didn't even check?
Okay. But once you put the tape up, then we're confident from that point on the scene was preserved, right? By the way, where did you get that tape?
Officers responded on the scene that he was down on the bottom and threw it up to me, so...
Okay. So you didn't have it on you?
No.
And you didn't leave the scene to go get it?
No.
Someone threw it up?
Yes.
Great. All right.
So he didn't even have crime scene tape on him. He just was running around everywhere, and eventually he walked on the thing. I don't know how he I would like to know exactly where on the edge of the roof he walked up to catch this tape. Was it anywhere near where the perch spot was? Was it on the opposite side? Where exactly did he catch this tape that was tossed up to him? That's also interesting, and I wonder if they're going to ask in the trial, because this whole thing is... if nothing else was even wrong, the only... Say, everything else is pristine, perfect, he's a perfect cop in all of the ways, and everything else is done completely perfectly, regular, he knows exactly who everybody is, the scene is preserved, everything is pristine, and the one fact that is still, how the way that he answers is, his body cam battery dying after only 27 minutes of being on that day. That alone is so suspicious just on its own that everything else that adds on to it just makes it exponentially more suspicious altogether. Even if nothing else was wrong, just the body cam thing is so shady. But then there's everything else too. Like everything else on top of that is, I don't even know, like how could anybody look at all of this, and even the people that were sitting there in court listening to all this, how could they come out the next day and start tweeting about how he's definitely guilty and how this is all for sure? And they have, what is the word they like to use? They have mountains of evidence. There's mountains of evidence, apparently. There's so much evidence that there's mountains. That's the word they use. Mountains, mountains, mountains of evidence. An overwhelming amount of evidence. Were they watching a different hearing? Is there like another hearing next door that they jumped into? Did they go into the wrong door or something? Because none of this is mountains of evidence. Even if all the evidence that they presented somehow did point to Tyler, even though most of it doesn't, even if it did, it's still not mountains of evidence. Even the stuff they claim to have, even if you did assume that, yes, all of those things really are Tyler and not, somebody else possibly, or somebody that just looks like him, some car that sort of looks like his but not exactly, and everything that looks kind of like him but not exactly. It's like, even if all that was true, it's still not mountains of evidence. It's hardly anything. Sloppy work for sure. So I can walk around in the crime scene with my fake FBI badge. Yeah, I mean, they sell those online. You can buy fake FBI badges online or whatever agency you want, and obviously it's not something you should do. It's probably illegal, so you shouldn't do that. But it seems like if you're next to this cop and you want to do something shady, just buy a badge online and walk around in plain clothing with a gun and do whatever you want, because this guy won't even ask you who you are after a major shooting like that happens. This is so crazy. I have no more words. This is completely unacceptable.
While you were on the roof, did you encounter any spent casings?
As a matter of fact, no, that's why when I saw the prone position where a person would be laying down a sniper, being around guns and snipers all the time, I was looking for a spent shell casing. I couldn't see one.
Oh yeah, and something else, like they keep making this like perch sniper thing, and even bring up the like a sniper thing and related to snipers. But earlier when we were discussing the distance, it's not sniper distance, just to kind of bring that back. So the way that they keep putting in these like sniper words make it sound like it was, I don't know, something about sniper versus like shooting regular with a rifle makes it seem so much more, I don't even know what the word I want to use here is. It makes it seem so much more like, ooh, you're bad, versus like, oh, if everybody's got a rifle, so it's kind of like whatever. I don't know. They keep tossing in these like sniper references everywhere, even though the distance is not sniper distance. Should have thought of that. Hello, welcome.
Looking over the edge, looking all over the place, making sure the gravel wasn't disturbed, and I couldn't find a shell casing at that moment.
And that would be, the reason you would be looking for that was because some types of guns, when they shoot, eject a casing automatically, right? Some
Yes.
do, some don't.
Yes.
All right. And then you also didn't find any unshot bullets.
No.
Okay. Are you aware?
Not right there, anyway. Unless it was over by the computer science building, then somebody did find some unshot bullets of a different kind. Yeah, the spent casing sort of fits with their thing because apparently it was left in the rifle.
There being a bullet found on another roof?
I'm
in the
not aware.
vicinity? Were you aware of another bullet being found on the scene? Not
We've already did this part, I think, previously. Let me get yeah, this is the body cam part.
This is right at that moment.
Okay. And did you ever turn it back on that day or go get it, I don't know, would you have to do charge it or stick a new battery in it? I don't even know.
Usually dock it, but no, I didn't go back. I was too.
I think I skipped the part where the body cam footage. Oh, we'll just take my word for it. He said his body cam.
I think the battery went dead. It was
died.
right at that moment.
Oh yeah, there we go.
And while you're still on the roof, do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right.
I think the battery went dead. not the battery went dead. I think the battery went dead.
At that moment.
Okay.
Exactly right at that moment.
And do you
That is so convenient. Wow.
know, did you ever turn it back on that day or go get it, I don't know, what do you have to do, charge it or stick a new battery in it? I don't even know.
Usually dock it, but no, I didn't go back. It was too chaotic running around.
So that 27-minute and 35-second body cam that starts when you're at the Hall of Flags and ends while you're still on the roof, but haven't put the crime tape up yet, that's the only body cam you have that day?
Yes.
Didn't he say at some point he handed off the crime scene to other people? And by the way, those people don't even get named. He doesn't even know exactly who the crime scenes were handed off to. He handed one off to some like police team from some I don't know if it's city or whatever, some city police team. The other one to another agency or whatever. And every time he hands off crime scene, he doesn't even know who the exact names of the people are that he handed off anything to. So somebody mentioned chain of custody earlier. The chain of custody with most of this stuff is completely fucked. Like people are just like, oh yeah, I just handed off and it was this and this agency. Well, who? Oh, I don't know. It was well, and I don't know. He had a badge and he was armed. He had a badge, plain clothes. Well, who was it? Oh, I don't know. Just some dude running around, whatever. Oh, this other crime scene. Yeah, I handed it off to so and so police from so and so city. Well, who? Well, I don't know. Is some chick. What? What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know? What do you know? Do you know anything? Is there anything you do know besides besides the stuff that he was obviously like coached to say for when his own side was questioning him? Usually docket, and he was so close to say they leave it to charge, and he knew he was about to call on himself. That was so disingenuous. Yeah, I mean, this something else about that when I was starting to mention, like, oh, he handed this crime scene. When he handed off the crime scenes, couldn't he then go and charge it or get a new one or whatever? The whole thing is so shady. Hello, welcome. I popped into your live the other day. I don't know if you noticed, but hi. Did Tyler Robinson off our out? I don't know what that means, but no, I don't think so. It does not seem that the evidence points that way at all. And like before the preliminary hearing, I wasn't sure, it was like 50-50, but after this preliminary hearing, there's no way. Like, at least I don't think they'll be able to prove it. There's no way that, unless they're like hiding something that they haven't brought up in this hearing, there's no way that an honest, rational jury would convict beyond a reasonable doubt that he's guilty. There's just no way. They don't have anything. Right. I will be making like a full video at some point. I don't know if you weren't here earlier, but I did mention I would be making like a full video with all of the evidence, because I'm skipping a lot of things that are more of like the viral popular stuff that others have already covered. So, but at some point I will be making a complete one where basically hardly anything even matches up. And all the video that they have of him is not even sure it's him, and actually like a lot of the clothing doesn't match. Where they think the gun is supposed to be kept doesn't match. It's all the parts where it's important, where it could be incriminating somewhat, the locations, you can't tell who it is just by the face, and it could be his roommate, it could be any like one of the other dudes there that look just like that. And the only part where you could really see his face is him just chilling at a Dairy Queen, which is not incriminating at all. So anyway, I don't want to rehash the rest of the live, but that's kind of it to sum it up. I'm not reading that, sorry. Didn't see much. Who do you think of Charlie? It's not represent. I don't know. I don't know. But I think that there are a lot of issues, and this case is falling apart right before our eyes. And it's really weird that TPUSA really wants to put this guy away in jail, and he could potentially be killed by the state with a death sentence for something like this, when the evidence does not point at him with beyond a reasonable doubt. Like, there's a few things to have, but it points just as much at the roommate, if not more. But anyway, I don't want to rehash stuff. It's just so much of this is so shady. But no, I don't know who killed Charlie Kirk. I don't know. If I knew, then this would be kind of a different video. All right, let's move on to the next item here. Let's see, we're at 218. We're number 218. Okay, we go into the next one here. Let's see if we can.
You mentioned when you went to the police
it's gonna move
department,
on.
you watched the video where you saw an individual up on the roof,
Yes.
right? And that individual was in the vicinity where you saw the disturbance in the gravel.
Yes.
And when you looked at that video, were you able to identify the individual's face?
I know.
Were you able to identify any markings on their clothing?
I know.
Were you able to identify
It says I know in the subtitles, but he says no.
their height?
No.
When you all,
So what could you identify? Because okay, looking at the video, there's nothing. It's a little blob. Somebody said like a pixel. It's literally basically like a couple pixels that's moving from one side to another. You can hardly tell it's there, and there's no way it could be anybody. It could be basically anybody. It could even be a chick. Like you can't tell.
when we looked at the picture of the, I think you called it the sniper perch, so I'm gonna use your words.
See the sniper perch thing. Here's the sniper wording again, even though it's not sniper distance.
It looked like there was a measuring tape laid out next to it. Were you present when they measured like the distance, like how tall that person would have been?
I was not.
So you don't know what that is?
I don't.
Were you able to tell the person's weight from the video that you saw?
I can tell he wasn't heavy set. So
Okay.
I'm more of a skinnier person.
Could you
So like half of them, Erika, I guess.
identify what shoes they were wearing?
I could not.
Could you identify anything about a hat or what was on their head?
At the moment, no, I couldn't.
Okay. And did you see a gun in the video?
I saw a long black object in the left hand as he was running across the roof.
So you can't even tell that it's a gun.
And in fact, did you describe that in your report as a bag?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why.
All right, let's pull that report back up, please. Oh, never mind. I don't think you mentioned what you saw. So in your report, let's pull that back up, please, page 5 on the Bagley one. So looking at the second page, you're actually going to have to go to page 6, I think. You talk about what you saw in the video where they jumped off the roof. And again, I'm going to remind you of our conversation we had before about you understand how important these reports are.
Yep.
This principal thing again. She did it again. That's so principally of her. I don't know. She just keeps doing that. She's like, you do know how important these are. So what's with all this missing stuff, huh? What's with all this missing stuff? These are very important. What happened here, huh? We put you in detention now. You go into detention.
Do you
Young
mention
man.
anywhere in this report that you saw a gun?
I did not. I just had an object.
Did you mention that you saw that object? Is that on here?
Nope.
Okay, so you left that out. Now,
Interesting.
you looked at that over and over again?
The video? No, I've only seen it twice.
Oh, really?
Yep.
When's the last time you saw it?
It's been months.
Okay. The last time you saw it, were you able to tell what that object was in his hand?
Yes.
Now-
Well, not tell what it is. I can see there's an object in that left hand, yes.
And could you, knowing what you know about the case today, do you have an idea about what that object was?
It looks like a rifle or something to that effect, a long object.
It looks like a rifle?
Like a long object, like skinny and long. You can see it's like almost like it's covered over something.
So you saw the cover, which was the towel, right?
Yes, and the shape of it is long.
Okay.
You know.
So you can see a towel, but you can't see an actual
I don't know if it
gun.
was a towel or a blanket. I don't know what it was.
But you can't see an actual gun. in
No,
the video.
like an object, like a form of a gun, like a long object.
Okay. All right. At the end of that day, what time did you leave the campus?
Now, note that the looks like a rifle thing is only in hindsight. It's like, oh, well, knowing what you know now, fill in the blanks. I don't know why she even asked him that. But this is only after she's like, well, now that, like, with everything, fill it in. Which, I don't know, that didn't really seem to help her. I don't know why she would say that. But at the time, it doesn't even look like anything. So, again, the person looks like anybody. The thing looks like anything.
That's probably like 9 o'clock that night, maybe, somewhere around there.
And did you come back the next morning and work some more?
Okay, I guess we could play it into the next portion here. It's only a few minutes in.
I came back the next morning, yes.
And you work all day the next day?
On and off.
When you left at 9 p.m., did you or anyone else know who the shooter was on that day?
No, not that I know of.
And when you came back the next morning and worked that afternoon, all that day, did you or anybody on that campus know who the shooter was?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So nothing that you found that day, or anyone else to your knowledge, on campus was able to identify who the shooter was.
And that I know. Well, during the time I was there, no. That I knew of.
I also want to talk to you about that giant picture that was showed to you. Do you know?
Exhibit 35, I think.
Yes, it's Exhibit 35. Do you know who took that picture, where it came from?
I do not.
Do you know how old it is?
I have no idea.
Okay. And the pictures you were shown, Exhibits 1, 2, and 3, that you got up and kind of talked about and showed all the buildings and everything. Do you have any knowledge about where those pictures came from? Or
I
who
guess
took
they were
them?
drone footages taken from a drone.
Do you know who's operating the drone?
Didn't he say earlier that there were no drones? Okay.
Sergeant Cam Nielsen from Provo Police Department.
Provo Police Department. Had you seen those pictures before?
Am I tripping right now? Because didn't he say that there were no drones? Didn't we just listen to him say that like 5-10 minutes ago? Am I seriously tripping right now? He also contradicted himself earlier when he was like, "Oh yeah, there were people up there running around," and then like 1 minute later he says, "Oh yeah, there wasn't anybody there. I didn't see anybody there. There was no people up there. No people."
Before today?
Before today, yes.
When did you see them?
A couple weeks ago.
And that was just in preparation for testifying?
Yes.
Prior to that,
Was it maybe another guy that said the no drones thing? Again, they're all blending together for me, so I'm having trouble distinguishing between them. But I could have sworn I heard no drones. Original, I also thought I heard no drones. Yeah, thank you. I'm not going crazy. This is okay. Okay.
had you ever seen those pictures? Can I have the court's indulgence for just a moment, Your Honor?
You may,
Just
Ms.
one moment.
I'm gonna skip through a little bit.
One last thing I want to clarify. We heard you testify that Ms. Richards, or I don't know if she's Deputy Richards,
She's a state employee for the forensic lab.
so Ms. Richards, she is the one who took those nighttime pictures of the stuff on the roof?
Yes.
And you testified that she told you that that was what they looked like that day?
Yes.
When did you meet with her?
I talked to her on the phone. It was several weeks ago in preparation for the trial.
So prior to a couple weeks ago, you never discussed those pictures with
I've
her?
never seen them.
Oh, so a couple weeks ago is the first time you saw them?
Yeah.
Right. And did you write any kind of supplement to your report, to add on to your report, other than what we've gone through today, that one report you wrote? Have you ever written another one?
Oh, oops, I'm on the wrong day for this one. The times are basically very
Or
close.
that
But
Mr. Robinson was
oh, no, I'm off by an hour too. It's getting late. My bad.
voluntarily surrendering how? How did you?
Okay, it's over here somewhere where like now this guy's going to discuss how on the roof you couldn't really tell who it was. So it's just supporting what we already know is the roof video. You can't tell who that is. You just can't.
Become aware of that?
That information came originally, I believe, from the Washington County Sheriff to the administration at the control center at the university on the evening of the investigation.
The lead investigator said, "Oh, okay. Was it this guy? It must have been this guy then." So it's weird that either one guy or the same guy, whoever, their side says no drones, and then their side says the drone footage right there says this or I saw the drone footage for like wait a minute.
Or the second evening of the investigation.
Right, we're going to get back to that in a minute, but I just wanted to get the timeline down. All right, now I want to go back to the videos that we've seen.
Also, didn't TPUSA at some point claim that the university was the one that said they didn't even allow drones? And then Frank Turk was like, "Oh yeah, we had drones," and now the cops also say they had drone footage, but the university says that they don't allow drones, apparently, even though I'm not even sure the university honestly said that. Maybe TPUSA just lied about that too. Like, they've lied about so many things up until this point too.
And the question that I just asked before, which is it fair to say that nothing about the video of the individual on the roof revealed to you, you couldn't see facial features, you couldn't see what they were wearing, correct?
Of the individual on the roof?
Correct.
I know that there was a meeting to discuss perhaps a pattern on the front of the shirt that was observed when the individual was jumping off of the roof.
Okay, that's fair. But at that time, as of the 11th, before Mr. Robinson turned himself in, you all had not been able to determine that, is that right?
Excuse me. Determine who he was or determine distinguishing features?
Determine distinguishing features of the video
Yeah.
of the person on the roof.
Yes, we had a person of interest and those images were released to the press.
You talking about the ones in the stairwell from the...
Correct.
Again, you see how he's answering a different question than the one she's asking? She's asking of the person on the roof. She's asking him about the roof video. And he's answering a completely different question. He's like, "Oh yeah, we released images." Not what she asked. She asked about the person on the roof. And he's talking about, "Oh yeah, the stairwell, this or this and that." This is when I was playing the Twitter clip I made earlier. This is the part where that I cut out because it was long and annoying and nobody wants to hear this except for, well, we do hear now, but for like a short clip for Twitter, it doesn't work well. So this is the part that I had to cut out because he just kept going on and on about things that she wasn't asking. So that's incredibly annoying. I know it's her job, but why is she so pushy pressing? I would forget my name if she spoke to me like this. See, she's the principal apparently. she does have that principal vibe for sure. But yeah, that is kind of her job, and it seems like a lot of them, both of the prosecutor side and the defense side, it seems like a lot of them were asking leading questions. It seems like it's normal procedure for both of them. And I mean, they have an answer they're looking for, so they're gonna ask until they get the answer they're looking for. But yeah, I mean, if this was like regular conversation, somebody talked to me like that, I would be like, bye. But yeah, that is her job. From his testimony, it sounds like lead investigator had nothing to do here in this case. He was deflecting and answering something else entirely at times. Exactly.
From the parking garage.
Correct.
But the video on the roof was not distinguishable, fair?
That video as a standalone?
Yes.
It was not, no.
Okay. And in fact, the video on the roof, well, strike that. Is it true that you had some spectators that you interviewed that had gotten a photograph a few seconds before the shooting of someone on the roof?
So I'm not sure I understand the question.
Did you, at some point in your investigation, collect
I don't see how that was confusing.
from two young men who were present at the event a video that they had taken of someone on the roof about 10 seconds before the shooting?
Yes, a video, yes, not photographs. A video was collected from an individual
Okay, because maybe she said photograph. I mean, he could. Okay.
who had a video
And ultimately, some screenshots were taken out of that video, is that right?
by,
By you?
not by me, no.
Okay. That's fine. It could have been someone else.
Okay.
But did you see the video that those young men took?
If you're referring to the video that is looking north and shows an individual dressed in dark clothing on the corner of the roof,
Yes.
if that is the video, I have seen that video, yes.
Did you review the interview of those young men?
I did not.
Do you know how they described the person on the roof?
I don't know if I read it or if I heard it, but my understanding was they believed it was Overwatch or some kind of a police Overwatch for the event.
Okay.
If that's my reflection.
And do you remember anything specific?
Overwatch to me just sounds like the video game. I don't understand. Not understand. I didn't realize it was a literal thing.
About the person's
I'm not too familiar with cop stuff. I just know that they're not supposed to leave their bullets lying around on random roofs where people are getting killed. Like that's not what cops do. That much I know. I know that much. I don't know much about cop procedure and cop things and titles, but I do know they don't leave bullets lying around. Like they don't just drop their bullets that they clear out of their gun. Like that's not what they do. That is not something that's normal procedure. I can't believe they even claim that. This is a disaster for the prosecution. It's a complete disaster.
build that they discussed when they described the person on the roof?
I do not know.
Okay. There is a portion of the video after the individual jumped off the roof, which we all saw here, where the individual crosses, I believe it's Campus Drive. Is that right?
Correct.
And there's a moment where the individual waits and there's two cars that pass in front of him, right in front of him.
Correct.
And is this the moment where you are submitting that he was holding a gun in his hand?
As across the road?
Yes.
From my observations, would show that he's carrying an object in his hand that's concealed or in a bag, and it is long and has the appearance, based on my training and experience, it could be a firearm.
But do you see a gun anywhere? The actual
In
gun?
the video?
Yeah.
No.
All right. And did anybody that was driving by on Campus Drive that day report to you or any other investigative entity, hey, we just drove by a guy with a gun who was leaving campus and he was standing right by my car?
We did not receive any reports to that effect, no.
Okay.
So you can't tell who it is. You can only tell that they're not really fat. That's the only thing you can tell. There's no distinguishing features whatsoever. You can tell that they have an object and it's kind of long, but it could be anything, including a firearm, I guess. But that's all they have. That's all they've got.
Also, when you were revealing the timeline, exactly how long was there between when the person was prone on the roof and when the shot was taken? Do you recall?
If you would like to replay the video, I can time it for you, but I don't recall. It was, my guess, I would estimate between 15 and 30 seconds.
So between 15 and 30 seconds to lay flat, take a shot, and get up and run off, right?
I
think you asked.
I was saying this earlier, but when you watch the video, it happens so fast. When they describe everything that should have happened, it's completely unreasonable. Like, he's supposed to pull the gun out of his tight pants and put it together with a screwdriver and then do all the laying down, the aiming, the shooting, get up. Did they claim he disassembled it also with the screwdriver and then left the screwdriver there conveniently? I don't know. All of this stuff is completely whack. Okay, that's pretty much that for that portion. Let's grab this next piece here. Part of the same sort of thread here, but different portion. this is supposed to be Tyler here. And also people have noted that his what I said about the limp earlier, not matching and sometimes not happening, and then the height. People have noticed that his height is too tall to be Tyler.
And why, well, let me ask you this. You believe this is Mr. Robinson returning to campus?
I do, yes.
Okay. And why do you believe it's Mr. Robinson?
The shoes are the same, and
Oh, same shoes. Okay.
the images that we have are
It could be anybody. This is literally anybody, like any dude with similar build, except not Tyler because the height apparently doesn't match.
from my viewing and seeing Mr. Robinson on the video, it's the same person.
Do his eyes not work? Okay.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
He is wearing different clothing, and he also is walking with a gait or a limp in this video.
With a gait or what?
A limp.
Look how tight those pants are. Like, there's no way. There's a rifle down there. Or part of a rifle or whatever. If I'm not wrong, he was removed and replaced by someone else later on. This guy might look dumb, but he is smart and he knows what he's doing. 100% they don't leave bullets flying around. Yeah, there's, again, not much I know about cops. I know that much. That seems obvious. Nice haircut, bro. Oh yeah, here you can see his phone, but not the barrel of the gun supposedly in his pants. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the phone thing.
Images that we have.
Oh yeah,
person.
wait, I see it.
The shoes are the same.
In his
and,
right pocket, right?
The
Right there.
images that we have.
That does look like a phone outline right there. It's about the right shape, and that's where people usually put it, right in their pocket there. Yeah, there's like, where would the rifle even go if you can see that and you can't see anything else? Like everything else, look how skinny those jeans are. There's no way.
From my viewing and seeing Mr. Robinson on the video, it's the same person.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
He is wearing different clothing, and he also is walking with a gait or a limp in this video.
With a gait or what?
A limp.
Okay. Now what do we see?
So this is Mr. Robinson coming up the stairs of the parking structure.
What do you mean you see Mr. Robinson? This was so annoying to me. The whole time that I didn't watch like the whole thing all the way through, but the portions that I did watch, I mostly started like finding stuff through the transcripts, and then I did watch certain portions. Like I think I did watch a lot of day one, and I did watch this portion too. Everywhere where there was like video and stuff, I watched, and maybe like a few hours out of each day, but not like the whole thing. And this is the one where it was so annoying. It's not even the only place they do this, but this was incredibly annoying. Every time they're like, oh, well, this is Mr. Robinson. This is Mr. Robinson doing this. This is Mr. Robinson doing that. And you cannot tell it's Mr. Robinson. It's just some dude with a hat and like similar clothing and build. Like it could be anybody, especially the height difference. Like there's no way that you can be like, oh, well, this is Mr. Robinson doing this. This is Mr. Robinson walking here. This is you can see the Mr. Robinson here sprinting on the roof and taking a shot in 4K. I can't believe they tried to claim that. That is so ridiculous. The whole like, oh yeah, you can see him take a shot. No, you can't. You can't see shit. Anyway.
Again, he seems to be having issues walking.
That is the fakest limp I've ever seen.
And again, we're able to track Mr. Robinson.
Also, I think the limp like switches at some point too.
When he leaves.
And didn't he just walk just fine at the top there?
And again, we're able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure.
Maybe I'm
Yes, we were.
Oh, there it goes. Where's the limp?
When he leaves this parking structure.
Yes,
That's hardly even a limp. He's like, maybe he got tired of doing it.
we were able to.
Okay. So when he leaves the parking structure, where does he go?
He comes up around Campus Drive.
Oh yeah, I think that
So
was.
when he leaves
This
the
is
parking-
where it looks different too.
When he leaves this parking structure.
Yes, we were.
So
Well, let me see here.
Again, he seems
It's
to be
the
having
right
issues
leg.
walking.
Yeah, the right leg is the one that's trailing behind.
and again, we're able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure.
Yes,
And
we
now
were
it's
able
the
to.
left leg that's trailing
So when he
behind.
leaves the parking structure,
Which leg is it? Did he like switch legs in the middle of the staircase? Yep, here. And then he bends easily with the gun barrel in his pants. Yeah, the gun barrel in his pants. There's like anybody who sees that and is seriously going to tell you, oh yeah, that's a guy with a gun barrel in his pants that's limping on the one side consistently, and he's the same height as Robinson, and that's totally Tyler Robinson. You can really see that's like his face and everything, and you can see him take the shot. Anybody who says that is a freaking liar, or they're blind. Like, they're one of the two.
Where does he go?
He comes up around Campus Drive, as you can see on the video here. There's a cut through there north of the Losi building, and that's Mr. Robinson coming up the sidewalk. He has the noticeable gait or limp in his walk. And then he moves south across the front of the Losi building.
On the sidewalk?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
He would be the rear of the two individuals in this particular video.
I think it's this. Is that... I kind of see like a few pixels moving there.
So right now, if you were to break this picture into quadrants, where would he be?
He would be in the top left quadrant, walking to the left of the image.
Now what do we see?
This is an image looking across the parking lot to the Losi building, and Mr. Robinson is appearing on the...
What do you mean, Mr. Robinson? What do you mean, Mr. Robinson? Where is Mr. Robinson? This should be like Find Waldo, but find Mr. Robinson, but you can't find him because he's not freaking here.
exterior staircase, which gives access to the Losi building roof and the area where the railing was.
And again, let's break that image into quadrants. Where would he be located if you broke it into quadrants?
It's in the top right, and the individual can be seen moving under the notations that are on the video.
Okay.
I don't even see it. I mean, I'm sure there's like some, you could tell it's like there's a person moving at some point, but this is probably like the clearest of all the ones that we just saw, like starting from the roof one, and I still can't even tell like what's what.
And what time is this?
It's just afternoon, about 12:15
On what day?
on September 10th, 2025.
Okay. What just happened, or what did we just see happen?
The individual actually kind of rolls over the railing onto the roof of the Losi building.
All right. Go ahead, sir.
And again, in the top left corner, the individual is now seen running across the rooftop of the Losi building to what would be the southwest corner of the building, crouching down and then crawling to the corner of the building.
And this is at what time?
Yeah, I'm sure if you can zoom in, you could possibly see like a figure, but again, it's several pixels. It's there's no seeing anybody shoot anything or like any like particular person or anything identifiable. It's just a figure. It could be a freaking ghost, for all you know. Damn, I can see Tyler so clearly. I bet the investigator can even see his eyes through the sunglasses. Yeah, I mean, this looks 4K to me. This is 4K resolution right here. You can, yep, everything is so guilty, straight to jail, or back to jail.
Around 12:23. I think the timestamp on the video is 12:22.
On the 10th.
On September 10th, yes,
So
2025.
we're clear. This is the roof of the Losi building.
Correct.
Excuse me.
Can you still see that individual?
Yes, you can, laying prone.
This is supposed to be the 4K footage that they zoomed in on, and where you could see him take a shot. This is supposed to be it, like this view where like there's a figure moving on the roof and everything, and then eventually going down, and it's just a figure. This is what the Posobiec and all of the other TPUSA shows were talking about when they were like, "Oh yeah, there's a 4K video that they showed you, and it was totally zoomed in. You can see them take a shot. You can hear the shot. No, you can't. There's none of that. You can't see it. You can't hear it. It's this, but zoomed in, so it's like the pixels are like a little bit closer." And there's like circles around what you're supposed to look at. That's all there is. And it's this is a source video. Like, you can't make up, well, I have done this earlier, I'm not going to do it again, but you can't like zoom in and like more data will magically appear. Like that's not how Zoom works when you do it the correct way. And you're not like making stuff up.
Listen.
I'm sorry?
You believe this to be Mr. Robinson?
I do, yes.
And how long is he out there on
But this is supposed to be the 4K video that they saw, but zoomed in. This was it. This is it.
the building?
Just until the reported shot was fired at 12:23 and 28. The individual then stands up and then moves across the building to the north.
Is that what we're seeing happening right now?
Yep, there it is.
Yes. And they move behind the atrium area on the rooftop to the northeast corner where the white triangle is.
Do you see
Yep,
Mr.
there it
Robinson
is.
now?
There's literally like a couple pixels right there. Well, I think at this, you know what? I think you were right about it literally being one pixel. at this size, like if they don't zoom it in, it's literally like 1 pixel on my screen right now. It's right. There's 1 pixel right there.
I do, yes. He's just arriving at the corner of the building. Almost the top
Because this is like a screen of a screen, maybe if they zoom in like on that screen, it's maybe like 3 pixels together.
center of the image.
What are we seeing now?
And Mr. Robinson lowering and jumping off of the roof of the local
What do you mean? What do you mean, Mr. Robinson? You can see like a little dot appear right there.
building onto the grass area.
What do you mean? And there's the dot right there now. There's this dot over here. What do you mean, Mr. Robinson?
And then moving away towards Campus Drive.
And there it is. There's a little dot.
And he appears to be carrying some kind of an object in his hand at this
It's a dot.
time.
This is the 4K footage. I cannot believe they even tried to lie about that. But with everything else they've lied about, it's not that surprising, honestly. I just thought that they would at least try a little harder to make it fit, or not something that was so obviously wrong. I was listening to the hearings, not watching, so seeing your breakdown is fascinating. Oh, good. I still want to do a full one at some point, but yeah, this is they have nothing. There is nothing here. A 4K HDR single pixel. 1 pixel equals 1 Robinson. So yeah, maybe if they zoomed in, we can get like 3 pixels. That means 3 Robinsons. To be honest, I'm glad they didn't bring in some AI enhanced BS. Yeah, well, we don't really know like what the zoomed in version was. It could be that the zoomed in version had like AI enhancement zoom in done. We don't really know, since we didn't see that part. But it was not anymore like even in the zoomed in version, because of what they have been asked, you still can't see who it is, because from the testimony that the cops are giving, you still can't see. Even when you zoom in, you still can't see any distinguishing features whatsoever. Even if they use like potentially AI or something for the zoomed in version to make it look a little bit more clear, you still can't tell who it is. So I'm glad they didn't at least like try to put a face in there or something, which I would not be surprised, honestly. I would not be surprised if within a few days of now, when TPUSA, when like that whole thing falls apart and more people are realizing that they lied about the whole, oh, you can see him taking a shot in 4K. When people are starting to realize they lied about it, I would not be surprised if they produce something where like they take this video and they zoom it in and use AI to like generate Tyler Robinson looking stuff. I would not be surprised at all if I see something like that. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, this was totally like leaked to us, by the way. Like you can totally see you can hear the shot and see it in 4K, which like none of that exists. They testified to that much. Like we can hear them, that like the state, the prosecutor, and their own witnesses, the state's witnesses, saying they don't have that. You can't tell. They're reluctant to admit it, but they do admit it. I'll give them credit for at least being honest about that. And to be honest, I'm glad they didn't. Yeah. I am also glad that they're at least somewhat honest, even though some of them are super shady and clearly lying about some stuff. There are things that they like. There are some lines they don't seem to be able to cross, and I'm grateful for that. Because if they crossed all the lines, that kid would be dead soon by the state in whatever legal way. Although he is endangered in general.
So he's approaching
Campus Drive.
And again, broken into quadrants. Where is he currently?
In the top right quadrant.
Like over here somewhere?
It's 12:24 and 42 on the timestamp.
What do we see now?
He then crosses Campus Drive and drops down into the wooded area on the far side of Campus Drive.
Is this him?
And that is located in what part of the video? What quadrant?
It would have been just off center on the top left side.
What do we see now?
This is the intersection of Campus Drive and 800 South. There's a vehicle attempting to turn right onto Campus Drive.
A vehicle? What does that remind me of? Who else do we know that said vehicle in their text messages to their alleged text messages to their alleged boyfriend / roommate? Where have we heard vehicle? Where do we usually not hear vehicle? Vehicle. Look how easily, clearly, and fast he's answering the prosecution, like he's about to answer before they finish the question. It's guaranteed that they prepared, and that's not even unusual for them to like practice and get the questions ahead of time. So yeah, and the difference between that and when the defense is trying to like cross-examine, like you were saying, it's completely different. He's not even answering the right questions half the time for when the defense is asking things. It's so annoying.
That's the vehicle that's driven by Mr. Robinson.
And on the screen, where is that vehicle that you're referring to located, if you broke it into quadrants?
It's on the left side, on the upper side, the upper quadrant.
Now what do we see?
And that vehicle's now pulling away.
This is not relevant to kind of what I was showing earlier, but since they're still showing the video, I want to play through it all, because in case somebody hasn't seen all the video.
And east on 800 South.
And why do you believe that that vehicle is Mr. Robinson's vehicle?
Oh, look, VLC.
When that vehicle was stopped, it actually made contact with an officer who was doing security detail.
Okay, and do you know who that officer is?
Officer Goforth.
Okay, and do you know which department he works for?
All right. Let's try to finish this one off here. I'm on the roof. Okay. Well, there's another one that basically says, oh yeah, there's. Oh no, actually, let's do this one. Let's do this one. Might as well.
In the video that we've already talked about, the video where Mr. Robinson stands up and runs across the top of the Losi building, do you notice whether at that point, after he stood up until you see him last, at least in that part of the video, do you notice whether he's walking or running with a limp?
He is not. From the time he left, after going over the railing, when we see him on the video move out to the position,
correct,
and then leave the position, there is no longer a visible limp or gait.
Thank you.
Ms. Nestor.
All right, let's get to the next one, because I don't know if we have to cover all these, because now we're getting kind of into the ones that have been sort of I won't say viral, but that have been covered by others. So this is the one where I do want to cover this one because this is related to the car stuff. And so people have covered that there's the bald driver thing, but I want to cover the plate related thing specifically and some other stuff here. So some of this stuff has been covered, but some of it hasn't. So I do want to cover this one too.
Robinson.
It was, yeah.
Catch up here. Oops. What's going on? Officer Goforth is such a Chad name. There was this part, they said Tyler talked to someone from TPSA and they just skipped over it. Didn't ask who or what they asked. Absolutely. Bald. I knew you were gonna do that. I knew too. When I was putting my notes together and I was like, oh yeah, there's this bald driver. I freaking knew you were gonna point it out too. I was like, yep, that's gonna be a thing, isn't it? It's tradition now. I accept it.
Driver's license record was.
We support all the good bald people and I don't know, admonish all the naughty ones.
Pulled.
Yes.
Did that include, if you remember, or do you know, did that include a photograph of Mr. Robinson?
It did include a photograph of Mr. Robinson, yes.
How about an address and date of birth?
There was an address and a date of birth, and I believe a DMV record with an associated vehicle.
All right. And so that DMV record did include a vehicle that was associated with Mr. Robinson?
Correct.
Okay.
Vehicle.
Do you remember what the make and model of the vehicle was that was tied
The vehicle.
to Mr. Robinson?
Oops, I did it again.
Dodge Challenger.
Oops, I did it again.
Anything else beyond that?
That's all you're gonna get.
That you remember?
It was silver in color, and I believe there were two registered owners of the vehicle.
Okay. And who are the registered owners?
Mr. Robinson and then his mother.
Do you recall whether or not a date of birth was included in that driver's license information that you got initially?
Yeah, I believe the actual driver's license record was shared, so it would have included a date of birth.
All right. With with Tyler Robinson's personal information, were you able to expand your search at all?
Yes, once we knew a vehicle that we were looking for and we had an actual image of the individual, then we were able to use that video footage to try and track that specific individual.
Okay, and I'm sorry, let me clarify. So when I said expand your search, I'm referencing the UVU surveillance video.
Yes, we were able to.
Okay. And were you able to identify in that expanded search, did you believe you located that challenger?
So they started with Tyler and his information. They looked up his records and they're like, okay, well, he's got a challenger. So now we're going to look for the challenger in the videos. That's what it sounds like to me.
We did, yes.
Okay. Were you able to determine?
I have to acknowledge the bolds. Thanks for reminding me of Definite Karaoke Night. How many subs? None. We're not doing it. That is not a goal that we're doing. Infinite. 2 million. Not happening.
At what time or times Mr. Robinson visited the UVU campus on September 10th?
Yeah, we were able to establish that Mr. Robinson had been on campus approximately 4 times throughout the day, twice.
Again, this Mr. Robinson thing, established with what? The videos of people who could be anybody?
Before the shooting, the time of the shooting, and then after the shooting later in the evening into the early hours of the 11th.
You said that you initially tracked the shooter forward and backward.
Yes.
with UVU surveillance video.
Correct.
Okay. Did you do the same thing with that video?
Again, the shooter, when it's potentially different people that look different with different outfits and they have similar shoes and build, and that's about it.
Vehicle.
We did, yes.
Okay. Tracked it forward and backward.
Yes, using the UVU footage and additional information that was obtained, yes.
And I believe you said that in total, Mr. Robinson visited the UVU campus 4 times that day.
Yes, that's correct.
And let's just be clear, that's all based on UVU surveillance video. Is that fair to say?
That's correct, yes.
I'm sorry to speed it up.
Have you reviewed what's been marked States Exhibit 12.1 for identification?
I have, yes.
Okay. And well, let me.
So that's the one where it's the video we just saw, but zoomed in with like arrows and stuff.
Before we go there, of the video that you have personally watched, does the video include the 10th and the 11th, or just the 10th?
The video I've seen includes the 10th, and then a very small portion, I think, about 0:30 of the 11th.
Okay. And I think you said initially you watched about 20 hours of video.
Yes.
Since that time, have you watched additional video?
Yes.
UVU surveillance video?
Yes.
Okay. And who provided the UVU surveillance video to you?
That was part of the collection of videos that was provided by Mr. Olson and his team that we already discussed previously.
Okay. Of all the hours of video that you've watched, do you have an idea of how many hours include Mr. Robinson or his vehicle?
Just with UVU or
Just with UVU, I'm sorry.
Just with UVU will probably be about 16 hours.
And let's be clear, this is someone you believe to be Tyler Robinson.
Correct.
Okay. And this person that you've identified as Tyler Robinson, that you've been investigating, that you viewed in the numerous hours of video from UVU, would you recognize that person if you were in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Is he in the courtroom today?
You gotta be kidding me. It could literally be anybody. Anyway, the sort of point here is the 4 visits is they looked at the video and they're like, oh, that could be him, that could be him, that could be a car that looks like his, that kind of looks like his shoes. Yeah. So anyway, there's not like eyewitnesses that were like, oh yeah, I saw Tyler right here, and then another one, oh, I saw him over here at this time, and another one's, oh, he was over here this time, that looked just like him. Yep, that was him. It was just them like looking through video and like looking for people that kind of look like him. So that's kind of to that point. I don't want to get hung up too long here. Let's do this one.
A residence located at 680 West, 925 South Orem.
Yes, that's in the horseshoe area. Yep.
Okay. That's in Orem?
Correct.
And close to campus?
It is, yes.
Okay. And what can you tell us about that video?
There was a Ring doorbell video that was provided that showed a vehicle consistent with the one we had identified as belonging to Mr. Robinson, parking in front of the residence across the street.
Okay. And what can you tell us about the timing and the timing of that?
Again, they look for the car that looks like his car, and they were like, oh, that looks like his car. even though in some of the videos it doesn't exactly look like his car, kind of similar, but some parts are apparently different. Um, but they're like, okay, well, this is a common looking car. Let's find everywhere we can see a car that looks kind of like this, and it's like a gray Dodge Challenger or something, and like, oh, this kind of looks like it could be his car. It's not like they're not like, oh, we saw his plate and then we ran this plate and that's how we found this car, entering this garage, doing this over here, doing this like plate reader. That is not what is happening here.
Parked vehicle.
If I recall, that vehicle parked approximately
Vehicle.
0:38 hours on the morning of the 11th,
Okay. So 0:38 hours. What time is that to regular people?
just after midnight
At 12:38 a.m.
in the morning, yes.
Okay. So how did this video come to your attention that you're talking about, this doorbell or whatever?
Also, something that this is completely irrelevant. This is very, very irrelevant, but I need to get off my chest. Okay. You know how when you say time and you don't use like the regular time, you use like the AM, PM, and it's either noon or it's the middle of the night / morning. It's weird that the like noon is 12, but then middle of the night is technically 0. I don't know. It sort of makes sense because it's like technically a new day at that point, and so it's like 12 a.m. because it's like 12 in the morning because it's like a new morning. But I think it makes more sense for it to be 12 p.m. because it's night and like evening, while 12 a.m. would make more sense to be the middle of the day where the morning is just like just ending, and it's like 12 a.m. sounds more like what should be noon. Like noon is like still morning-ish, and that sounds like it should be 12 a.m. and that always trips me up because 12 p.m. sounds like, oh, p.m. is like nighttime, evening time, so 12 in the evening, but it's the other way around. It's 12 a.m. is the one that's morning, or is the one that's like the new day is starting, and then 12 p.m. is the one that is like noon and noon. So I always hated how that seems backwards. Like it should be, if it's evening, that should be PM, and if it's still sort of like late morning, it should be AM. But thanks for coming to my TED Talk. At least they have some video of a dude that looks like Tyler, and he's calling that dude in the video Mr. Robinson. Erika literally forgave Tyler without even seeing any of this mountain of evidence. I love how they call it mountain of evidence. Military time after 12 p.m. It goes on as 13 for 1 p.m. and keep counting after 23. It's 0 instead of 24 because it's the restart of your 24-hour day. Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense to me, that it's like 00 is like the new day, but I don't like how it's like PM should be AM. You know, it's like noon should be 12 a.m. Like the label of PM versus AM is the one that trips me up because like late noon is like morning, and then nighttime should be like PM, so it should be like the PM and the AM should be switched. But like the new day starting with a 0 makes sense to me, but the PM and AM label doesn't.
This footage was obtained as part of the canvass of the area that was conducted as part of the investigation.
Were you able to identify the owners of that residence?
Yes.
Where that video was collected from?
Correct.
Okay. And do you know who it was collected from and by whom?
It was Mr. and Mrs. Noble. I believe Agent Davis collected the video directly from them.
Okay. And do you know what date it was collected?
If I can refresh from my notes.
If referring to your notes will refresh your memory, go ahead and look at that. Don't read it out loud.
I don't have the specific date, but I do know that
Why can't he read it out loud?
myself and Agent Davis returned to the address as we had done with previous videos, and had the owners of the video verify that it was from their system. And we did have them complete an 1102 statement, which would be dated.
Okay. Do you know, so let's talk about this. What does this video look like?
It's a nighttime view looking from the front porch of the residence across the street.
Okay. And what about that video? Why was this particular video significant to you, or why do you think it was related to this case?
We know from the UVU footage that the person we believe to be Mr. Robinson had an interaction with law enforcement, and a short period after that, the vehicle comes to that house, and some additional evidence that was collected from cell phone data.
So there was interaction with law enforcement, and then the vehicle goes to the house. It's interesting he's not saying Mr. Robinson here goes to the house, because everywhere else he has said Mr. Robinson, where you can't tell it's Mr. Robinson. Here it's, oh, the vehicle just on its own goes to the house, which becomes important because, as we mentioned earlier, the people who gave the videos, they said that there was a bald driver with 3 other people in the car. And it's interesting that he doesn't volunteer this information here. And he says, oh, the vehicle drove, as if it's the vehicle drove itself over there, instead of saying, oh, well, Mr. Robinson drove, or Mr. Robinson went, like he said everywhere else. In this particular case, he said, oh, well, the vehicle just magically drove itself.
Things indicated that Mr. Robinson was in the area, and we were able to locate the footage of his vehicle on that Ring doorbell camera.
Or at least what you believe is his vehicle.
Yeah, the vehicle we believe to belong to Mr. Robinson, yes.
And is there something about this particular video and this vehicle that was captured that leads you to believe that it was Mr. Robinson's vehicle?
Yeah, the vehicle has very distinct wheels. I won't say that they're wholly unique, but in terms of the video footage that we were reviewing, the wheels on the vehicle are fairly unique and stand out on the video footage.
They're not that unique. They're really not. They look like regular wheels. If you get used to military time, you'll see only military time. Fun fact, only US uses AM and PM widely. Canada does to some extent, but the rest of the world is running on military time. Yep, I grew up outside of the United States, so I was very used to it from a young age. And it did take some getting used to the whole AM PM thing. And that's why, like, ever since I learned that it was supposed to be the other way around, it's always tripped me up, because it feels like it should be PM should be nighttime.
So again, this is video that you received early on in the investigation.
Yes.
And then in preparation for the preliminary hearing, you went back out and you met with someone about this video.
Correct.
Who specifically did you meet with about this video?
Again, everything about identifying the car is like, well, the wheels, they're kind of unique, but not wholly unique. They're just sort of special, but not really. That's it. The car looks kind of like his car. That's about it. It's not like, oh, we got his license plate. Oh, we like saw the person driving, even though the person driving was seen and he didn't match. But he's not going to mention that here. Okay, let's skip to this part here.
To Campus Drive. That's the vehicle that's driven by Mr. Robinson.
And on the screen, where is that vehicle that you're referring to located, if you broke it into quadrants?
It's on the left side, on the upper side, the upper quadrant.
Now what do we see?
That vehicle's now pulling away and heading east on 800 South.
And why do you believe that vehicle is Mr. Robinson's vehicle?
When that vehicle was stopped, it actually made contact with an officer who was doing security detail.
And do you know who that officer is?
Officer Goforth.
Okay. And do you know which department he works for?
Spanish Fork Police.
And did you have a conversation with Mr. Goforth regarding this interaction at that intersection?
I did, yes.
Okay. And what time was that interaction? I'm sorry, did I ask you that?
It was approximately 12:30 a.m.
Okay. On the 11th?
On September 11th, 2025.
So you talked to Officer Goforth about that contact on the corner on that, or during the early morning hours of the 11th?
Correct.
And what did Officer Goforth tell you about that interaction?
It was an interaction that, I guess cop intuition, but there was something about the interaction that made him make a note of the license plate of the vehicle. And then subsequently, when information was available that that vehicle, or a vehicle matching the description of that, was involved in the incident, he ran the information that he had obtained from the stop and was able to identify that it was registered to Mr. Robinson, and he had in fact had contact with Mr. Robinson on the morning of September 11th, 2025.
The information that he ran, do you know what information when you say that, he ran information?
Yes, he ran a partial plate.
Okay. A license plate?
A partial plate, not even the full plate. He ran a partial plate only after they've like sort of got who they wanted to get, and he was like, oh yeah, I stopped so-and-so car. But if the other people were like, oh yeah, there was this bald driver and 3 other people, wouldn't this cop also know that, like, hey, there's a bald driver and 3 other people, but we're looking for this other guy? So, and he only got a partial plate, which, again, you could get a partial plate. I don't know exactly how many numbers there were, but it could be like 1 number or digit and a similar looking car. Like that's not unique. That car is unique because it matches their evidence exactly. So did that offer I've said exactly a lot of things you've said, and I think that's for good reason. It seems like you're really in tune with the evidence here. So did that officer see the bald guy? That, yeah, they don't seem to mention it. And also, it seems like, well, let's sort of get into the description here. It's
Correct.
And based on that partial license plate, he was able to identify the owner of that vehicle?
Yes.
Did he tell you who the owner of that vehicle was?
He did, yes.
Okay, and who did he tell you it belonged to?
Said there were 2 registered owners of the vehicle, Tyler Robinson and an Amber Robinson.
Did he say anything about the person that he actually interacted with?
Yes, it was a male that he believed to be Tyler Robinson.
So it was just a male. There was a male that he interacted with. There's nothing about like the bulb, the other 3 people, nothing. It was just there was a male that he interacted with. He specified that he interacted with. And I know he was asking like who specifically he interacted with, but it's there's nothing here that excludes there being 3 other people in the car. It's just officer interacted with a male, not that the officer saw or didn't see 3 other people. The only thing that we know is that the officer did not interact with the 3 potentially other people in the car. He only interacted with the driver, who was male. And if we add everything together, he was a bald guy. So, okay. I think we kind of get the point here. Let's move on to... I think it's the same. I'll just skip to it here. No, I'll just click. It's easier.
And do you recall what they told you about what they remember seeing in and around that car that night?
I don't recall. I just know we were there for...
So this is the people that they got the video from, the nobles, and it's, well, what did they see? What did they see? And let's see if he volunteers information this time. So did he run his ID and ID him? So sloppy. Yeah, no, he just saw that there was a guy, and I guess he looked suspicious, but he didn't ID him. He just noted a partial plate. And then eventually, when everything sort of came out and they sort of knew who to look for and what kind of car to look for and the license plate to look for, he's like, oh yeah, I saw this so-and-so car, and there was a male that I interacted with, but didn't know anything else about him, or that if he later on, like, was like, oh yeah, this is, I saw this guy, this is the guy I saw, after they knew what Tyler looked like. I haven't noticed any of that. I could have missed it, but I haven't found anything like that here. And then like, oh, well, he interacted with him, but he didn't, again, good point. He didn't even run his ID. He just got a partial plate. He thought it was suspicious and didn't even get a full plate, but he did interact with the guy. So what did he interact with the guy about? Like, did he stop him? Was like, hey, where are you going? Or what was the interaction? Like, what exactly was the interaction like? Because he said that they interacted with. Interacted how? Spoke to, said, like, hello, goodbye, where are you going, high five? Interacted how? I don't think we get to know, but let's just sort of move on here because it is getting kind of late. I've said it a lot already, so let's try to get through this.
Verify the video. I didn't conduct an interview with Ms. Noble at that time.
Okay. Can we please bring up whole?
And people have noted, like, the bald driver thing, but I think other people have missed the whole, like, there was no, it's not like they had a plate and then they read the plate and they were like, okay, well, we're looking for so-and-so car, and then they eventually found Tyler Robinson's car. That is not what happened. All of these testimonies are like, oh yeah, there was a partial plate. Could have been one number. We don't know. And there was, at some point later, most of the time where they see the car that sort of looks like his, which again could be anybody's because there's lots of cars like that around, it's not even the wheels are wholly unique. Like, they're not even like unique. It's just kind of look like his. And it's not like they had a license plate reader somewhere and they read the plates and then they knew to like look for those plates and then they found his car. That is not what happened. They went back later, they found Tyler Robinson, or he turned himself in or whatever, and then they looked up his information, they looked up his DMV records, they figured out what license plate his car was, and then they later matched that plate to the partial plate that the officer noted. And when they were looking for the vehicle in all these other locations, in the parking garage, and all this here and there, everywhere they saw the vehicle, it's not like they matched it by license plate number. Everywhere else they saw it, except for that one partial plate read where the officer noted a partial plate read. Everywhere else, they were just like, oh, that kind of looks like it. They didn't even match it by license plate anywhere else except the one partial. This is a big nothing burger. Anybody that has any common sense is, I just, if they try to say this is something that it's not, I'll just know that those people are dishonest. And some people are just dishonest trash. It happens. Ooh, she's about to burn his arse. To be honest, this is so sloppy because people these days are so stupid and have such low attention span that they won't watch the whole thing, even I struggle through all of it, so the jury can convict him just by vibes and feelings. I think that is probably true for a lot of people, like, just watching the trial happen, but I think as the jury, I don't think they can sit there and, like, go on their phone or anything. They can't. This is the only thing that's going on around them, so they sort of have to either pay attention or stare into space. And I would hope that if they can't pay attention, that they would excuse themselves because a person's life is on the line. I just hope that there's enough people in the world that wouldn't want to see somebody die that doesn't deserve it. I just hope that. But I think as far as, like, watching the trial, I agree with you. A lot of it is very boring and monotone, except for the parts that, like, oh, whoa, wait, what did you say? So that does happen a lot. But I do agree that most people probably won't watch the whole thing or watch even enough relevant parts. But I think as far as the jury, at least, like, when they're sitting there, that's all they have to pay attention to. So I hope they at least pay attention, because that's all they have going on that day or those days, is sitting there and listening and watching. Like, that's all they have going on. So I hope that they do, consider everything properly. So many things to question, but no answers, because they know they can just get away with it, and they did in their defense. All the pushback didn't do much. Yeah, I mean, again, they can't really do much here because this isn't the actual trial. I think during the trial, I expect to see a lot more from them. I think they did what they could here. But if they don't bring up a lot of the evidence that sort of the community has discovered since then, I think that there might be something shady going on. But I guess we'll just have to wait for the trial. I can't really speculate. It seems like they're doing their best, like they're really holding their feet to the fire where they can. But again, this isn't supposed to be the trial, so because of that difference, I'll give them some slack here.
Sorry, just a moment. Hole 48. This is Ms. Noble's interview. Do you have it?
I remember reading the report at some point, yes.
All right. Do you remember that? Looking at that interview, does that refresh your recollection?
I remember reading the report at some point, yes.
And do you remember that the Nobles told you that the driver of the vehicle was bald?
I do remember that being in the report, yes.
And you didn't mention that today when you were talking about that ring camera, did you?
Here comes the principal.
I did not.
And did they also tell you there were 3 other people in the car?
Yes, I believe they thought that was the case.
I want to go back, if I can, to the scene itself, the preservation of the actual scene where Mr. Kirk passed.
It's also kind of annoying how he said, "Oh, well, I believe that they thought that was the case." It's very unlikely you're going to think that there's other people in the car if you can't see other people in the car. Usually, people assume it's just like one person driving, unless they literally see other people in the car. And if they said that, if they were able to count the other people, it's likely that that's true. And the fact that he was hiding it is super shady too.
Did you all have canine dogs at any point that sniffed that area?
I don't know specifically that area, but I do know that canines were present, or a canine was present on the day.
But you don't know what task the canine was given?
My understanding was that it may have been used in an effort to track an individual that had jumped off the roof, but I don't know for certain.
So they're not going to tell us if that. I know Candace at some point claimed that there were like bomb sniffing dogs brought in, and that they couldn't find the firearm even though it was alleged to have been fired, and then some feds came and might have planted it, maybe. And I wouldn't be surprised, but we don't really have, it's not a for sure thing. Like, we don't know. It could have happened, it could not have happened. But it's interesting that he's sort of very uncertain about all this stuff, because he's very like, oh, well, I'm not sure. It could have been used for this. It could have been used for that. A lot of this stuff is very like, wishy-washy. He's not really committing to any particular answer. Even though he's answering, he's not saying, oh yeah, well, it's because this. He's saying, well, I think maybe because probably, I'm not sure, it could have been. All of those words that he's using, I think that that's on purpose. And if it really was only for tracking the person and they weren't like trying to track anything else, I think he could have just said that without being like, oh, well, maybe because probably, like, he knows to answer precisely if he wants his point to be taken precisely. Like, this is clearly, like, the language that he's using here is very clearly on purpose. All right, that sort of covers the whole, the vehicle situation with the plate, because a lot of people have been sort of assuming that they pulled the plates, and that's not the case. I've seen people that are skeptical of the narrative, people just assume that they had the plates and that they saw the plates and they pulled the plates and they matched the car. That is not what happened. I want to be clear about that. At least according to the testimony that we heard here. And then the driver being bald. So this was all like car related stuff, and we heard about the bald, but not so much about the plate stuff, and the different stops and whatever. I haven't heard much about that. There's 2 more items, but it is getting kind of late, so I don't know. I think I might want to just summarize this part a little bit, because part of it we did already cover, sort of. Well, we played parts where the text items are, I don't know, the texts are weird in general. Search gaps, and then message. I never saw it again. The under keyboard note. Okay, so the note under the keyboard, as we know, wasn't collected intact, and it's just a lot of things are, well, his roommate said so, and we just take his word for it. That's kind of the point of that portion. I don't think we need to rehash a lot of this. Okay, so a lot of stuff we already sort of discussed as part of the summary, so I don't know if we need to go through it at this point. I just want to skim, make sure I don't have anything here in the notes that I want to bring up. The recording. So he was, yeah, and again, Twiggs was never cross-examined. I wanna make sure we all understand that. The recording, it was basically a very friendly interview. He got to sort of say everything that was convenient, and he had that immunity for at least like what he was saying there and showing. Okay, so there was the under keyboard note that was not collected, and then apparently there was a burnt note in the trash that was collected. So I think I have to look into that a little bit more in the future, because I want to make sure I have all the pieces of that one. And then this one is, yeah, the rifle matches the casings, but not the bullet that killed Charlie. So I think we got this information already before even the hearing, because of some files that came out that the defense put out about the ATF report and things like that. So basically the ATF report was inconclusive. Like, they can't match it. It could have been it, but it could not have been it. And if it's inconclusive, I think that's kind of, you have to be like, okay, it's inconclusive, and the person has to be let go. Unless you have video of him literally taking the shot and you can't even match the bullet properly, and you don't have some other like bombshell evidence, which they don't have. They have nothing. They can't even match the bullet. And I'm not even going to mention the fact that the 30-06 would go through and it didn't, and how much more damage there would be, and that a bullet, especially like that, doesn't like bounce off and like travel up and down, and like it doesn't work. Like, none of the physics of the bullets apparently work like that. I have seen a lot of people do like the shooting experiments, and it's ridiculous because people the people on the like Tyler is guilty side, they keep making fun of this. Like, oh, people are gonna go out shooting meat in the woods and videotaping themselves shooting up meat. How do you think they do it? This is exactly what they do for court cases where they want to prove that a specific shot with a specific gun was possible. They go and they shoot meat and gelatin stuff. That's what they do. They approximate what the part of the body that was hit would be, and they perform experiments exactly like that. They go in the woods and they shoot at meat. That's what they do. And they record it and they make an experiment of it and then they present it in court. That's literally how it's done. And I see people like making fun of it. Like, have you never seen any sort of investigation where a court case was presented and people have, okay, well, we did these experiments and we can prove that this kind of shot can be taken with this gun at this distance and this kind of thing would happen and we expect this to be done to the body. And as you can see in this case, this thing was done to the body, but in this case, it wasn't. In this case, it does not match. It doesn't. It's the idea that gun, it just doesn't match. Okay, I'm not going to rehash that because basically everybody has covered that already. I think we can cover that in the like bigger video I get to at some point after the long list of other videos that I have pending. Okay, so I do have other stuff that is related to the preliminary hearing that I do want to cover, and it's mostly like a debunking. So there's a few videos that came up in my recommended on YouTube. There's one that had Rob Noor in it that was all like chock full of misinformation from basically the first word. It was ridiculous, or first statement, whatever. Like immediately they're like completely out of whack. And basically everybody else who's like, oh yeah, it's there's so much mountain of evidence. There's basically totally him. It couldn't possibly be anything else, and it's totally possible that this bullet could totally go and just be stopped by Charlie's neck and bounce off the. Yeah, all of this stuff is crazy, and there's a lot of things that these people have stated that I have. Especially with the hearing now out, there's evidence to basically point the opposite direction, and it's hilarious. And maybe if nothing else more interesting comes up, we'll do this another time because it's getting late. So we definitely don't have time to get into those, but those are the other notes that I have here. There's some Glenn Beck debunking, some Rob Noor, and I think the other name is like Ryan Murphy, maybe, is that his name? I'm not familiar with him, but it was those two. And then Glenn Beck, and then Megyn Kelly also put out some crazy stuff. Yeah, so all of the shills are out shilling, and we basically have the evidence to be like, yeah, but no, you're lying. So we can call out the liars at another time because it is getting kind of late, but I did want to at least point out some things that I haven't seen a lot of coverage on, and I know that some of the more like bombshell type of stuff was already covered by other people, and so I just didn't want to be repetitive in this particular video. So that's why like the summary in the beginning hopefully covered a lot of that. But this was like 5 days of information, so there's a lot here, and not everything was obviously covered because there's just so much. But I think some of the more interesting things we got through that haven't already been gone through with somebody else. Okay, I'm gonna quit babbling now because it is getting pretty late. Let me catch up on chat here, and we'll start wrapping up. I'm gonna fix this mouse. It's being a little weird. Okay. Let's go back here and. Oops, I clicked on it probably right. Can you believe this is the answer of the lead investigator? Most of his answers were unacceptable, completely unacceptable. Reminds me, I gotta make that meme because I wanted to use it before the Adventure Time Lemonhead when he was like unacceptable. That was funny. Oh boy, the gnome. Wait, what? What did I miss? We saw pixels of evidence. Yep, we saw some pixels. Definitely not mountains. Pixels, not mountains. Megan Smelly. Oh no. Megan sitting on the fence so hard, playing both balls. I don't really see her sitting on the fence. The only fence she's sitting on is she's not coming out and, like, you know, condemning Candace and calling her evil. Like, that's the only thing she's not doing, but she seems to be doing everything else that's chilling. On one hand, she's like, "Don't make me say what I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna do that." Like acting like she's basically acting like she's so like tough and unbothered, and nobody can tell her what to do. She's like her own person. She's not gonna be bullied into doing this or that. But I've seen some videos that she put out recently about the hearing and everything, and she's like, "Yeah, there's mountains of evidence," and like basically making fun of people that are pointing out all of the ridiculous stuff that's going on here. So, Glow in the Dark says, "I'm gonna watch this later again when I'm less tired. This is good work." Oh, cool. Thank you so much. And again, thanks for joining. That helps a lot. And you get to watch the videos first. Yay. Ball juggling. Oh yeah, there's a Discord, if anybody's interested. Rob Noor, didn't we call him an... Oh, yes! Oh, I totally forgot. Oh, I forgot what that was. I think I read that after I had already moved on from the Rob Noor situation. Didn't we call him a gnome? That was a while ago. Yeah, the gnome. I remember that, because he's very, like, gnome-like. Yeah. I think I have a thumbnail still in Alive from, like, forever ago when I put him, like, a little gnome outfit and hat. Okay. Okay. It's okay. All is good. Oh, something... I think I took a screenshot, since I'm pretty much wrapping up here. Let me see if I can find it. Because you know how I was saying, I got some videos recommended to me. Oh, I think it's on my other phone. 1 second. Let me grab my other phone. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to grab my other phone. And oh, come on. There we go. Because I think this is the one that I screenshotted with. You know how I was saying that I was recommended. This is pretty much wrapping up. So if anybody has other stuff to do, it's cool. I won't get offended. But you know how I was saying that I was recommended other videos of like the other side of the whole situation. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's totally guilty. It's obvious, mountains of evidence." And one of those was the Rob Noor video with Ryan. I think his name is Ryan Murphy. Let me find my photos because I took a screenshot of. Oh yeah, here it is. So, I didn't bother putting it on the computer because I wasn't really gonna cover it, but it's just something I took a screenshot because I just could not believe it. I also happened to see Rob Noor do. Well, I tried to watch anyway. Him do the speakeasy thing, the debate, and I tried watching that, and I couldn't do it because of the whole, like the consistent mouth breathing over the other person. And that's not to be like, oh, you know, like, mouth breathing, but it's more like if you have that sort of situation and you can't help it, at least like mute yourself when you're not talking. But he was literally like the whole time that they were sort of ramping up and getting ready, he was saying like, and I can't even do it. It was I could not unhear it, and I wish he would at least mute himself if he can't help it. Like, I understand some people can't help it, and that's fine, but it's like it just kept happening over and over, and just the more that I like try to listen, the louder it got in my head, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't watch it. Eventually I was just like, I give up. And something else that I think it was like the next day or something, I got this video recommended, and it's Rob Noor, and he's I don't know if this is the one with Ryan Murphy or the other one, but it's the one called Extravaganza hearing coverage. Okay, it's about the hearing, and it's their like Rumble show, but I think this was on YouTube. Yeah, this was on YouTube, so I don't know if they like clipped the Rumble show and put it on YouTube. And it's Rob Noor, and there was a comment under it that in support of Rob Noor that reads, don't worry, her slobbering, mouth-breathing fans. So they're talking about Candace. They're basically, the whole thing is to make fun of Candace. The whole thing is like, oh, Candace sucks. And this one says, don't worry, her slobbering, mouth-breathing fans will probably move the goalposts again. Her slobbering, mouth-breathing fans. Are you kidding? Are you sure it's not the opposite? Like, do you have the right person? It's not the... Okay. Sitting on the fence regarding... okay. What are we calling it? Philadelphia? What do you say if issues regards to learn to mute? At least mute. Like, I understand some people can't help it, but at least mute. Like, at least when you're not talking, can you just mute? Like, that's... Please. BS dude, don't forget to mute. Oh yeah, there's a few emojis. I'm adding the bird hand. I have the bird hand ready. I'm gonna add it tonight, in case if anybody wants to use the the bird hands. The bird hands, bird hands. I'm adding that tonight. It's cute. There's the bird hands is on Discord already, but I'm gonna add it to the YouTube ones as well. Okay. That's basically it. I just thought that was kind of funny, but just. Bird hands is worth membership. Okay, well, I'm glad you like it. I will be sure to add it, and you get to use it next time. Next time you see somebody do bird hands, you get to use the bird hands. And if you want to use it just in general, that's as well okay. That's also okay as well. Also okay. Okay, this is getting late. It's too late. Last thought: who's winning the FIFA World Cup? I don't know. If anybody else is into sports, feel free to answer the question, but I don't know anything about sports ball, so. Alrighty. Wee. I can't believe I said that still. Now it's a thing. It has to be. The people have spoken, and it's a thing. And by people, I mean Rick Nell. Okay. Let's call it a night. It is getting late. Yes, have all the sleeps. And it is a work day tomorrow, unfortunately. And by tomorrow, I mean today, because it's also tomorrow already. Okay. Good night. Let me do the stream is over thing. Good night, everybody. Everybody.